All right. Good morning, everybody. To all the folks who are listening, maybe you're listening on Spreaker this morning. Good morning to you. Maybe you're on TuneIn this morning. Good morning to you. Perhaps you're chiming in or checking in on YouTube. Hey, good morning to my fam on YouTube. And of course, if you're on Facebook, good morning to all my Facebookers. Good morning to you. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. On today's show, I want to talk about numerous things. You know, the show is always diverse in terms of topics, people, politics, and pleasure with some superlative flair to it. But on today's show, I want to talk about an officer involved in the Breonna Taylor case, police officer, and his recent interview in which he claims, among other things, that he is a victim too. It's like, I don't really want to play the victim card, but I'm a victim too. We'll discuss this morning. 513-873-7134. Everybody's favorite black president, first black president of the United States, hit the political scene last night. And he was taking some straight shots at Trump. Will it have an impact on your decision to vote? Will Barack Obama's appearance now on the political stage 2 weeks before the election, will it have an impact in your opinion about the upcoming decision to vote? And listen, family, before we get too deep into the show, please like and share today's show. Like, and in particular, share today's show. When you share the show, more people see it. Let's spread the gospel of flow. Let people know about the Nathan Ivey Show, Cincinnati's first daily digital talk show that focuses on the black community. Let people know about CDM and all of the podcasts that we're doing, speaking to different parts of our community, uplifting and amplifying black voices, marginalized voices, and send digital media. So if you're hearing this or watching for the first time, find us on Facebook for now. That's been the primary place where you can watch our videos. And much more is to follow very, very shortly. I appreciate you. Again, family, please like and share today's show. We'll get started in about 90 seconds. All right? Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson. Morgan Stanley has a scholarship fund for HBCUs. The bank will cover the college expenses for 60 students at historically black colleges and universities. The Morgan Stanley HBCU Scholars Program will fund the entire cost for attending Howard University, Morehouse, or Spelman College. The bank has committed to spend $12 million on the program over 4 years. And in a move designed to create more generational wealth and economic opportunities for people of color, PepsiCo is committing $2.5 million to establish a host of new black franchise owners across the country. And Operation Hope, a leading financial education and economic empowerment group, has teamed up with Shopify to help create 1 million new Black-owned businesses over the next 5 years. That's your Bloomberg Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
Senator Cecil Thomas asking you to vote for Charmaine McGuffey for Sheriff of Hamilton County. As a former police officer, I know Charmaine is the only qualified candidate to be sheriff. She stands with our community and will lead with accountability. Her opponent used excessive force in the killing of an unarmed black man and led the highly controversial Vortex unit. He is the last person we need to lead our sheriff's office. Trust the judgment of someone who knows. Vote Charmaine McGuffey for sheriff, a vote for justice.
This is Charmaine McGuffey asking for your vote, paid for by people for McGuffey for sheriff.
So many Democrats voting for Charlie Winburn. Democrat Malcolm Timmons.
I'm voting for Charlie Winburn because he's a man that does what he says he's going to do, and he gets things done for our community.
Democrat Nettie Matthews.
Of course I'm voting for my brother Charlie Winburn because he cares about the black community.
Democrat Paul Booth.
I'm voting for my longtime friend Charlie Winburn. He will put people over party.
Democrat Zakiya Allen.
I'm voting for Charlie Winburn because he has a positive track record in our community.
Democrat Charles Wiley.
I am voting for Charlie Winburn because he would be accountable to us.
Democrat Klein Carricker.
I'm voting for Charlie Winburn because he helps to train hundreds of African Americans through his leadership masterclass.
Democrat Jafanya Wynn.
I'm voting for Charlie Winburn because he cares about women with children, providing child care and a school for K through 8th graders.
Democrat T. Renee.
I want to see the first African-American county treasurer elected after 230 years.
Vote Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer.
Paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
This is the Nathan Ivey Show. Get ready to be engaged. Get ready to be informed. Get ready to be enraged by the man City Beat magazine called a talk radio rebel. And your host, now back to the show.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. And welcome back to your daily catharsis, the last honest place in Cincinnati media, if perhaps the globe. Welcome back. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. It's a wonderful place where nothing is funnier than the truth. Men are allowed to be men. You can be a man on this show. You can be heterosexual on this show. You can be happily whoever you are on this show as a man. And of course, sucker MCs get dealt with. If you would like to test the limits of a dangerous force, that's your own thoughts. You can amplify your thoughts to our audience, 513-873-7134. Hey, good morning to everybody. Welcome back. How are you? It's a little dark in here. Hold on, let me see what I can do with that. I think that'll be better. Hopefully that'll be a little bit better for you. I don't want to overpower you with the light. A little bit better, right? Still a little something over here. I'll take care of that later. Maybe I'll turn that light off. Good morning to you. Hey, listen, please like and share today's show. When you share today's show, quite frankly, more people see it. It's real simple. When you share the show, more people see it. Good morning to you. Man, there's so much to talk about. Man, good morning to you. Don't forget coming up today at 1 p.m., Midday Juice with Ask Ashley. You ask the questions, and she answers them. And if you got something going on in your life, and maybe you're looking for an objective point of view, you can always say, hey, I'm anonymous or sign whatever, and you may get something out of it from Ask Ashley. If you got a question, askashley@gmail.com. Hey, good morning to you. Yeah, I'm ready for this, man. It's a lot to talk about. It really is. Hey, listen, personal challenge for all the people out there. Do one thing today that scares you. Family, today, do one thing today that scares the hell out of you. Make one move today that you just might be a little nervous about, but do it anyway. Because the best things in life are inside the comfort zone or outside the comfort zone. You spend your entire life inside your comfort zone, only doing what makes you feel good, never putting yourself in these situations where you feel the butterflies. Oh no, homie, you must be gonna hit the lottery. You can make your own lottery if you get outside your comfort zone. That's going to touch somebody this morning. Good morning to you. Again, please like and share today's show. Like and share today's show. When you share the show, quite frankly, more people see it. It's very, very simple. And my number, 513-873-7134. On today's show, like I said, I want to talk about, at least for the first hour, you know me, we'll switch it up as the show goes on. I want to talk about this officer who said in an interview with Good Morning America, this is one of the officers that was involved in the Breonna Taylor case, right? So him and like 7 other officers showed up to serve this no-knock warrant. And he claims that they did announce themselves several times, even though there's a lot of discrepancy in it. Like I tell you, I mean, to believe that Kenneth Walker is just laying in his apartment or with his girlfriend in her apartment and decides that he wants to go from chilling to now being accused to shooting police officers, that's racist. You must be a racist mofo. That's one way to say. Just ask your white friends how do you feel about this. It'll test them. It'll test your white friends. You know what I'm saying? It'll reveal to you how they really think, because that doesn't make any damn sense whatsoever. He was also one of the officers that was shot in the leg by Kenneth Walker. And he claims that Kenneth Walker was like trying to kill him, but just hit him in the leg. Even though Kenneth Walker testified that he was just trying to wound somebody. That's the other thing that got lost in. He was just trying to wound somebody. He wasn't trying to kill nobody, is what Kenneth Walker said. That's why he shot him in the leg. But the officer, man, I'm telling you, this stuff was so wild in this interview because basically he doubled down on it. What he said, if you missed it, fam, what he said is that if he could do it all over again, the only thing that he would change would be that he and the other officers would have breached the door even faster. He thinks where they went wrong is that they gave Kenneth Walker and Breonna Taylor, get this, too much time. He believes had they breached the door just straight off the rip, not then breach, then they wouldn't have had enough time to even think about what to do. And I guess he thinks that Kenneth Walker wouldn't have had a chance to get his weapon and then fire around. What? He offers his condolences to Breonna Taylor, but said, look, you know, I'm a victim too. That's what he said. I mean, this is America. This is America. This is amazing to me. But I get it. And, you know, if he feels that way, you know, the other officers down in Louisville feel that. That might be behind closed doors what officers, how all of officers across the country are looking at this case. We got to breach faster. You gave him too much time. Huh? What? Yeah, man. Yeah, it's real out here. It's real out here. It's really, really real out here. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Again, share your thoughts if you like. Remember, open your mind before you open your mouth. Barack Obama hit the scene last night. That's right. El Presidente showed up. It's good to see Barry. He's making jokes. They would have called me Beijing Barry. He was telling jokes about Donald Trump and really making the point that there's a lot of hypocrisy going on in the media and with the conservatives and all this kind of stuff. And there's a whole lot of hypocrisy. Donald Trump has been able to get away with doing things that Barack Obama never would have got. Even the Democrats would have held Barack Obama way more accountable. I'm just telling you, that's just my personal view. There's no way in the world that he would have got away with some of this nonsense, but it is what it is. Barack Obama, or Barry, seems to have a good attitude about it. Yeah, he said, yeah, Trump's got like a secret Chinese bank account. Really? That was news to me. Really? That's what we're doing out here now? Trump's owes somebody $400 million. Who is it? Is it Chinese? We don't know. But do you think that Barack showing up here, what are we now? We're on the runway, right? About to take off, basically. Next couple of weeks, election, biggest election of our lifetime, as are all the elections. So many local decisions have to be made about who's going to be in power, who's going to be in legislative power, who's going to represent us on so many different levels, from the 1st Congressional District to the Hamilton County Sheriffs, Hamilton County Prosecutor. I mean, you name it. Hamilton County Sheriff, and then all of these judgeships that are up right now. And I want to see the community rise up and step out, man. You know, enough with the belly aching, got an opportunity to do something. And I think that we still have to appeal to register voters, because it's like levels to it. First, you got to make sure people are registered, right? Because there's only a small percentage of people who actually get registered. And then within those people who are registered, there are people who are registered but may not turn out. They may not show out. So the parties, the candidates are still trying to mobilize and get in front of voters, all the way up into and including Election Day. That issue is super important. We must discuss. If you live in Ohio and you've been following what's happening with COVID-19, well, then I don't really need to tell you, homie. You already know. If you don't live in Ohio, and perhaps you do live in Ohio, but you haven't been following, and you don't know the latest when it comes to COVID-19, well, let's put it like this. We are living in the edge of the pandemic flaring up to all-time record levels here in Hamilton County and Cincinnati. State of Ohio's registered its highest single-day infection rate within the last couple of days. It happened twice. I'm reading a lot of stories that say that we're about to go purple. You know what that means? Purple means CPS goes virtual. I'll say it again. We need to look at this COVID-19 like it's a burning house. We would never run back into a burning house and say, you know what? They got the fire contained in the living room. So we're going to go to the dining room. So we're going to be cool. We're in the dining room. We're going to put some curtains up, some fire retardant curtains. We would never do that. Why are we doing that with COVID-19? Don't make sense on that level. I understand the other many levels of responsibility, but on that level, it don't make no damn sense. And here we go. Get ready. Get ready. Hospitalizations in Cincinnati region hit a record high when it comes to COVID-19. The governor, as much as he can, as spineless as the little fella is, as spineless as our little fella governor is, he is a little fella. Oh my gosh. I won't tell you my Mike DeWine joke. But anyway, as spineless as our governor is, because Mike DeWine has no spine, say it with me, Mike DeWine has no spine. As spineless as he is, he out here trying to raise the alarm about what he sees, right around the corner. And that is, we got just a couple things going on, fam, that when it comes to COVID-19 anywhere in the country, but let me speak directly here in Cincinnati. Number one, we only can control what we can control. Gosh darn it, you God's little creatures, little human beings that we are, we think we can figure everything out. We think that the scientists got it all figured out. Just give them enough time. Just give the scientists enough time, they'll figure it out, right? That's what we think. We think in our blissful arrogance that we can figure it all out. Hell, we put some cats on the moon. We put some white men on the moon. We're not going back because of the aliens, but we put some white men on the moon. We're exploring the deeper recesses of the Marianas Trench. We split the atom. We cloning goats. We got GMO food. We think we all got it figured out, don't we? Oh, yeah. A vaccine's right around the corner. We don't have no damn control over this. We don't control this. This is beyond us. We're just a speck of dust compared to the universe. We're nothing, but we think we are. We're gonna put some plastic up. We're going to put some filters on the ventilators. We got this lit. Don't you watch the sci-fi movies? What happens? When the humans get arrogant, we F up. That's what the sum total of scientists, the sci-fi movie genre is trying to tell us. When we get caught up in our feelings and our gloriousness and grand cathedrals to human intelligence, that's when the creator or the universe said, you know what? F your fort, homie. Just like Snoop did to that little kid in the movie Baby Boy. F your fort. Give a damn about your little fort? Like the kid was making a fort. You got to watch the movie. You should have already watched that movie. But anyway, we don't have this thing licked. We don't know what's going on. We don't have any control. it starts with the spiritual folks. That's where some of this arrogance starts, ironically enough, because there's a clash between like science and faith. But some of these people with y'all faith, y'all think y'all done figured out the afterlife and you never even been there. You ain't even been there, but you know what's going to happen, right? You ain't even been there. That's where the grand arrogance of humankind sort of begins, in my opinion. Y'all think because y'all wrote a book or two, oh yeah, and it's really, really old, that you figure out what happens when you die. And you figure out how to negotiate the relationship with the Almighty. Stop it. You don't know. You don't know. I know you strongly believe, that's why they call it faith, but you don't know. And of course, that arrogance transcends, because human arrogance has no boundaries whatsoever. Human arrogance has no boundary whatsoever. So it's boundless. And so now it just goes over to COVID-19. Oh, we got this licked. Oh yeah, the scientists, we'll have this in 6 months. I mean, there's things about the human body that we haven't even figured out. But yeah, we're going to figure out COVID-19 in less than a year. Oh, okay, yeah. Stop it. Stop it. You selfish little self-important God's little creature, you. Stop it. So COVID-19 is about to flare up. You know what I'm saying? Like a bad herpes day, which I've never had herpes. So I'm just going by what I've read. You know what I'm saying? Like a bad outbreak at a rash. But it's worse than a rash because it's killing folks, putting people in the hospital. Yeah, there's been a 2-week rise in COVID-19 cases in Hamilton County, which coincides with the last 2 weeks that CPS has been doing a hybrid virtual learning. Wow, it's funny how that works out. Well, it's not funny, actually. It's not good for anybody. Let me see here. Hamilton County averaged nearly 200 cases a day over the last week. And over the last weekend, the county's contract tracers were busier than ever. So you got the arrogance of humankind thinking that we got it all figured out. This is minor. And then you got about 30%, maybe 35% of the population that is absolutely incorrigible. This 35% of the population I'm talking about, which consists of black and white folks, all kind of people, right? They are the most dangerous 35% among us. And a lot of those folks, those are COVID deniers. They are the most dangerous 35% of the American population. And they are bringing us down, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to keep it honest with you. They're bringing us down with this nonsense. I saw a woman get a fire smacked out of her on a viral video within the last 24 hours because she was on a plane, right? And she dared to ask the woman, they was getting into it about wearing a mask, right? Slapped the fire. It ain't the first time I've seen it. Slapped the fire straight out of her. I mean, we're living in the last days of common sense. When you can't even tell people what's best for them. And they know it's best for them. I'm going to do that. I ain't going to wear no damn mask. We got black men crowd surfing at Trump rallies. We are living in the last days, my friends. No doubt about it. And again, as I said to you for many, many years, I don't know if these are the last biblical days. But I feel very strongly that the last days in common sense come before the last biblical days. So we somewhere close. Human beings have absolutely lost their mind. These folks walking around this city with no mask on have absolutely lost their minds. They are a threat to local humanity. You are a threat. And let's see here. Let me give you some more information here. I want to give you information, not just flows this morning, because that's the only thing that's going to get us through this, and that's the facts. Dr. Richard Lofgren, CEO of UC Health, warned on Wednesday that hospitalizations in the Cincinnati region now are at their highest level of the coronavirus pandemic. And that's because we are, as humans and as Americans, we're not prepared for anything like this. They don't prepare us for this. They prepare us to be lambs for the slaughter. With the propaganda, the miseducation, the disinformation, the quality of food that's available to us. They want us, they're turning us into human chicken nuggets. You know what I'm saying? They're not preparing us for nothing like this. I mean, most people aren't prepared for this. Most people aren't in any kind of shape for this. I think COVID-19 has really brought that to bear, right? Those who are in shape you in better shape. Those who are not, you probably in worse shape. God's little chicken nuggets. That's what I see. Just lambs to the slaughter, right? Just waiting to be plucked off the plate and into the mouth of the elites. See, but Lofgren said this, the region's health systems are very much prepared for the increase with adequate personnel, protective equipment, and other supplies as well, as much better ability to test more people faster than the early days of the pandemic. So there's a silver lining there from Dr. Lofgren. A little bit of a silver lining there. We in the red, though, family, and teetering on the brink of going into the purple. And if we go to purple and then CPS decides to go back to virtual learning, to all the belly aching parents with their misplaced priorities, keep your mouth closed. Keep it closed. We don't need you talking dumbish at the wrong time. I'm telling you, when the apocalypse happens, when our arrogance goes too far and one of us flips the switch or sets a series of things in motion that leads to our ultimate demise, I guarantee you, as the end get closer and closer, 35% of the population will be on some dumb-ish. They'll be probably just as deadly as whatever it is that's threatening to wipe out humanity. They'll be just as deadly as the asteroid. You know what I'm saying? If that's what it is. If God decides to go the H2O route, water, floods. If he decides to go the H2O route, 35% of the population won't believe it until they're actually drowning. It's what it is. But let's go back to the phones. Hey, good morning and welcome to the show.
Hey, Nathan, it's Tracy. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Welcome to the show.
I've been thinking about kids going to school in this pandemic, and I have a question, and I don't know if you asked it to Superintendent Laura Mitchell when you all had her on the show, but here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it wastes a lot of money to have these kids go to school and then jump off the program and then go back in. It's like flipping a switch. We're getting ready them, but it just kept the kids out until spring after, the flu mixes with this COVID-19, right? But, they have a greater plan than me. My son out here in the district, they gave us a choice. You could either do 2 days on, 2 days off, or keep your kids out of school. And I let my son make the decision, and I wanted to hear his logic. And he said, I don't want to go back. And I said, why? And he's 16. He said, Mom, if they don't sterilize the bathrooms, how are they going to sterilize the school? And that was, that was his story, and he was sticking to it. Made sense to me. So he doesn't have to go back till January. So when they let them a couple of weeks ago go back to school, I think within the same week, they pulled him off when the governor made his decision, right? So I'm wondering, if you ask Laura Mitchell, how much money does it cost, or how much money do you all waste when you flip kids on and take them back off? Like, how much food do you have to throw away? And what other costs are involved when you do this? Why can't you just keep kids out of the building? I just don't understand this whole jumping on and jumping off the program. And my son, on a side note, is doing much better grade-wise being at home than he is in the school building. He made the honor roll this quarter. He sleeps longer. He doesn't have any distractions. I just can't believe that they don't look at that and kind of factor that in. I know some parents have to go to work. I get it. I'm still so grateful that my kids aren't small, but it's just, I'm wondering how much money they're actually wasting by doing this, and if you all asked her that.
We did not ask her specifically about how much money. Of course, I did ask her that question about going back and forth. What she said is that, if we go purple, it's pretty likely, we're talking about CPS, obviously. If we go purple, right. And by she, we're talking about Laura Mitchell, superintendent. So Superintendent Laura Mitchell said that if we go purple, more than likely CPS will go back to all virtual. And at that point, she didn't say anything concrete, but she said her preference would be that we don't go back and forth. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. It could mean that, if they go to all virtual, they stay that way, for the entire school year, or it could mean they stay that way for a quarter, despite what happens whatsoever, which I would be more in favor of. All these 2 weeks, let's look out 2 weeks. I don't get it. Just make a decision for the entire quarter. You get graded on a quarterly basis. So let's do this on a quarterly basis. Makes sense.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that because it just makes no sense to me how kids just, not only is it disruptive for the kids, but it's just they have a plan and then they have to switch again, and might not have that village that can take care of their child. So I hope they take that into consideration. I also hope that they do some sort of survey to see how well kids fared being at home. So that's just my thoughts this morning.
Well, appreciate your thoughts this morning, Tracy. Have a great day.
All right, you too.
Yeah, most definitely. That's Tracy from Cincinnati. Her son is out in Forest Park, just so people know. More than 60% of the state of Ohio's residents live in a county that is currently in the red. I'll say it again. More than 60% of the state of Ohio's residents live in a county that is in the red. I've heard that as well. My daughter is doing well as well. And I think, again, I want to say this again. And when I say this, I'm not implying that there aren't smart people at CPS. But the smart people at CPS, if they're really on top of their game, not only are they managing what's going on, but they're looking at what's going on from a critical view to the future. Meaning, what are the best practices? Will COVID-19 forcing kids into a virtual environment uncover a new reality in terms of public schooling? Like if we find out that our students excel academically, that they're doing better in terms of what really matters, and that's the grades, being virtual, then what does that mean? Are you prepared? If your child is excelling right now, if your child excels and you demonstrably can see that my child is excelling in this virtual environment, are you concerned that if they go back to the in-school environment that they might lose that academic edge? Like every parent wants their child to get straight A's, right? That sets you in line for some good scholarships, right? That's less money out of mom and dad's pocket, and or you understand the relationship between those grades and then the next level, and that is college enrollment. You want your child to have as many have many choices that they want. You want your child, as I do with my children, I want my children to go to the school that they want to go to, not that they have to go to. And I want it to be paid for. And as dad, assistance, scholarships is always a blessing. Come on in. Oh, who is it? Scholarships. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Mr. Scholarship, sit on down. Oh, grants. Oh, we got grants here too. Come on in, Mr. Grant, sit over here. You guys thirsty? We'll take care of them. So I get it. But if we find that the virtual learning scenario is better, do you send your kid back? Will we see in the near future CPS to put more of an emphasis on that virtual learning option? Should there be virtual learning elements? I mean, quite frankly, let me just push the envelope all the way. Do our kids ever have to return to 5 days a week in-person learning? Ever? But they doing 2 on, 2 off, 1, everybody's doing a virtual thing, and that works. Why will we ever go back? They get a little bit of social. They get a whole lot more focus. They get to sleep more. They're going to be better, healthier human beings, less stressed out. From an administration standpoint, guess what's happening? You're getting less people in the principal's office. You don't have to deal with parents like me calling you and holding you accountable and keeping it real in your face, in the meetings, wherever we are, right? You don't have to deal with that right now because the kids ain't there. They're only there half the time, so it's half the problem. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just think about this. I mean, financially, how would that impact CPS? Would it have a positive impact or negative impact? I mean, that's just something to think about. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think smart people are looking at everything. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at all the ways of looking if you really being objective and smart about it. I mean, why will our kids ever have to go back? Because COVID-19 is just going to open the door for COVID-20, COVID-21, COVID-22. I've told my audience, I want to tell you again, prepare yourself that this is the new reality for the rest of your life. That's what you should prepare yourself to do. You ain't never getting out. You ain't never getting out. And that's going to help you survive and thrive in this environment. You just got to look at it like it's the new normal. Find your happy and your pleasure inside of this new normal. Because quite frankly, for the rest of my lifetime, I don't predict us ever leaving COVID-19. I think we'll always be dealing with these viruses and things like that. We're living in the last days of common sense, of course. But that's me. I think I've set the table pretty well. Let me go straight into the chop shop. Matter of fact, where are we at here? Please take a second to like and share today's show. Hold on, I got to take a second myself to make sure that people can find the show this morning. That means everything. Hold on, give me 1 second here. And shout out to Team NI, all the team members. Oh, man, we're doing great with the shares. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Yeah, my goal, let me see here. Yeah, so important that it comes from me, the host, as well. As I tell all the folks I work with in podcasting, you got to share it and keep sharing it. You can't share it enough. You can't share it enough. Okay, one more here. I want to put it in all my favorite places. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that people can see the show. Also, of course, you can chime in on YouTube as well. But hold on 1 second, my folks. Let's do it this way. I don't mind doing this on the air. I don't have no problem with it whatsoever. You know me. It is what it is. All right, good. So I've shared it in a lot of places. You know, I got to be the number. I'm the sharer in chief for my own ish. I'm going to share my ish more than anybody. I'm going to tell you. But your help, it's just like little wings. It lifts the show. And believe me, I see the numbers on the other end. So it lifts the show up and it allows more and more people that I don't even know to see the show. All right. So please share it on your page and in any groups or pages that you think it might be relevant. I appreciate you. All right, let's go back to the chop shop. And when by back, I mean for the first time this morning. And let's say hi to Tracy. Tracy writes hi. Clue Magic writes Grand Risings, Nate in the Choppers. Ashley writes good morning, Nathan in the Choppers. Hashtag Team NI. Brian writes good morning. Miss D writes greetings. Jared writes good morning, hashtag Team NI. Pamela writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Nate, are we all meeting for the debate tonight? Well, yeah, we certainly can. Let's get it popping. Let's do it. I'm down 9. I'll be there. Chuck 321 writes up. Brenda writes happy Thursday. Tanika writes good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Froderick Douglas writes, good morning, Choppers. Life is simple. Hashtag protect black children. Hashtag delete Facebook, and 90% of y'all problem will go away. You are immersed. Oh, okay. Barack O. Savage writes, good morning, Choppers. Barack O. Savage, in parentheses, Trump's fear. Okay, good morning to you, Barack O. Savage. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. I'm not making it up. You think I'm making it up? Hold on. Let me see if I can grab this real quick. Yeah, these cats in here, man, getting creative. I love it. I'm all about the creativity. I'll put this on the screen for you so you know this is from the Chop Shop. Let me see. Chop Shop. There we go. You can get that for yourself. I love the creativity, man. I love it. Keep it coming. We need more creative folks. Tracy is no longer on the line. Let's get her off the line there. There we go. Or off the screen there. Give me 1 second. I need some real time live on the air, to be honest with you. All right, check this out. It's from the Chop Shop. Froderick Douglas. Good morning. Froderick Douglas. And then it's a picture of Sean King, man. You need that. You wild, boy. You wild. You is wild this morning. That's fame. Barack O. Savage writes, good morning, Choppers. Barack O. Savage. Will y'all leave Barack Obama alone, man? Let that man be who he is. Let that man do what he do and be who he is. Here's a clip of Barack Obama from yesterday. Check this out.
In the last 48 hours, we know that he continues to do business with China because he's got a secret Chinese bank account. How is that possible? How is that possible? A secret Chinese bank account. Listen, can you imagine if I had a secret Chinese bank account when I was running for re-election?
No.
You think Fox News might have been a little concerned about that? They would have called me Beijing Barry.
That's exactly what they would have called him. They would have called him Beijing Barry and a whole lot of other things. And he went on to talk about Trump in this clip.
How is that possible? A secret Chinese bank account. Listen, can you imagine if I had a secret Chinese bank account when I was running for re-election? You think Fox News might have been a little concerned about that? They would have called me Beijing Barry. It is not a great idea to have a president who owes a bunch of money to people overseas.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea either, but we're living in the last days of common sense where good ideas are not valued. It's the bad ideas that are valued. That's the whole age of the last days of common sense. Last days, my friends, last days. Good morning to you. Fox writes, rise and shine, young stars. Good to see you, Fox. Mason Mahler writes, morning, Nathan and Choppers. Hashtag flows rated E for everybody. Hashtag Obama flow fade for Donald Trump. Hashtag QCTs is a pre-existing condition. Hashtag spay and neuter all pets and Gilligans. Hashtag Herman Cain stunt double super spreader. Barack O'Savage writes, Barack hit Trump with an old-fashioned Sugar Ray Leonard combo blows. What up, homie? Is that what he did? That's hilarious. Somebody writes, what's up, Barack O? Thank you for fading Donald Trump. It looked like you wanted to cuss yesterday. That's hilarious. The thing that separates the alt-middle from the imposters is that we are creative and funny. The imposters are just loud and confused jock riders. Pay some homage. As an imposter or hater, you're definitely immersed. Okay, is that right? Got somebody calling in from what appears to be, I think this is Tennessee. Tennessee, who's in Tennessee? Let's go. Good morning, welcome to the show. As I said, my friends, we are living in the last days of common sense. That made no damn sense whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to do the song, you're going to call up and do the whole song for us, at least do the whole song. That call was from Tennessee, so that's why I said it, because I'm like, wait a minute, Tennessee, I don't really get a lot of calls from Tennessee. So we got some folks in Tennessee watching. Hey, good morning. Good to see you. Some well-wishers. I don't know what that was. I have no idea. That's all I heard. I don't know. Let's go to the phones.
What's up, Nathan?
Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
What are you up to, man? You having a good day?
I'm having a great day.
All right. I just wanted to call in and let you know that I really like your show, and watch it all the time.
Appreciate you, brother. Where you at?
I appreciate what you do. I'm in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay. What's your name?
It's L. It's EL.
ELL. Okay. What's up, L? Don't be a stranger, man. What's going on in Chicago?
Murder. A lot of it. It's unfortunate.
And what's the community doing about it up there?
Not a damn thing. They just let it happen.
Huh. So what are you doing about it up there?
I'm trying my hardest to fight against it,
Okay. All right. Well, L, listen, man, stay connected, man.
Yeah.
All right, take it easy. One.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, that's L up in Chicago. I guess I asked wrong. He said murder. Damn. I've read about it. It ain't good. So the next question is, what's the community doing? Not enough. Basically nothing. Then the next question is, what are you doing? So I'm trying my best, man. Okay, well, listen, continue on, soldier. Continue on. Prius L in Chicago. Yeah, we struck a nerve this morning. Appreciate it. Please share the show. When you share the show, more people see it. And it's real simple. It's real simple. That's hilarious, man. Put that back on the screen for a second. Frederick Douglass, man. That is hilarious. Leave that man alone. That white black man is trying to move the needle for the black community, man. Let him do that, please. Let Shaun King, whatever good Shaun King's going to do, let him do it. How could it hurt? And if you make a few dollars and nickels because he's writing books or whatever, okay, great. But if he can help this move for equity policy intangibles on any level, let the man do that. Let the man do that, man. You just will not leave this man alone. But I get it. You know, do you. You are who you are. All right, I'm back inside the chop shop. Miss Tiffany writes, good morning, all. God writes, great day, choppers and other folks. Barack Savage writes, they took Trump's phone away from him so he wouldn't tweet in response to Obama going in on his ass. They took it away like, nah, he got your ass. Don't embarrass yourself. Well, speaking of which, and taking the mic away, of course, tonight you've got the last of the presidential debates. At this point, it sounds like I'm committed to doing a presidential debate sort of watch party, black watch party. I'll do it straight from Facebook. And when you see it go up, please share. And we'll watch it together. It's more about it than me. And then I'll give you a few flows afterward. By it, I mean it's more about the debate and what the people, the candidates have to say. But I do chime in from time to time with some witticisms and criticisms. You know me, I can't resist. And we chop it up. So if you're interested, you can join the flows later on this evening. All right, we got a call on the line. Let's go straight to it and say good morning and welcome to the show.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm also from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm going to have to disagree with that last caller. He said that murder is happening. I'm going to have to disagree.
Okay. So what is happening?
I think that while there is some crime, I think that he was extremely hyperbolic.
Okay. So you born and raised in Chicago?
No. I'm actually, I'm from Alberta, Canada. I just moved here about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. How'd you come across the show?
You showed up in my YouTube recommended.
Okay. Okay, great. What's your name?
X, EKS.
X, okay. All right, well, don't be a stranger, man. Subscribe.
I will.
All right. Take it easy, man.
Do you fart?
What? Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Something tells me that was the same call twice. I kind of get that feeling. But it's all good. Good to know we showing up in YouTube recommended. That's exactly where you want to be if you're doing YouTube. You want to show up in other people's recommended. Appreciate that. That's because of people liking and sharing the show and becoming subscribers, watching the show on YouTube. Appreciate you. So I will take something out of it. Yeah, he was on some dumbish, man. You know, I don't have time for that dumbish. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Charles writes, Grand Risings, Nate and the Choppers. Dale writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Brenda writes, good morning. I'm on Facebook now. Andrielle writes, good morning, Nate and friends. Good morning, everybody. Samantha writes, good morning, all. Maurice writes, how is this racist clown a victim? How does that work? Well, he claims that we're talking about Jonathan Mattingly, folks. Let's circle back around. I'm glad you brought that back up so we can circle back around and talk about today's, at least our conversation for the first part of the show. The man you're looking at right there, family, that's Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly. And he claims that he was also a victim in Breonna Taylor's case, or her death, the scenario that led to her death. And he basically put the blame on Kenneth Walker, saying basically when he opened fire, then that's what got her killed. That's why the officers returned fire. Now, as I understand it, he was actually shot in the leg by Kenneth Walker. And he's not so happy about the way that people have been portraying the police and everybody. He sat down with Good Morning America most recently, and he sat down with Michael Strahan. Michael Strahan's big interview, right? And he said that if police had entered the apartment faster, then her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, wouldn't have had time to grab his weapon. And I'm wondering if that's the way like law enforcement is looking at this situation across the country. Are they looking at this Breonna Taylor situation thinking, you know what? Here's our problem, is that we gave him too much time. Had we kicked in the door, had we swooped him and swarmed on him before he knew what was going on, he never would have had enough time to get his weapon. And therefore, it never would have been an exchange of gunfire. And therefore, Breonna Taylor never would have been killed. Is there logic in that? Is there logic in that? Does that make sense to you? Then he went on to say, let me read this verbatim here. It's at the very, very bottom, at the very, very end, when he says this, quote, I'm not going to sit here and act like playing the big victim card, but I mean, I was a victim in this as well. He said that members of his family have had to go into hiding and face death threats in the wake of Taylor's killing. So is he a victim in this? Is he a victim in this? I would have to say, obviously he's not a victim in this. You know, he's a police officer. It's an occupational hazard. You know, that's why we give police officers the props and the reverence and respect we do in certain circles in this country, because when they go to work, they're literally putting their lives on the line. But they know that when they go on to work, it's an occupational hazard. It comes along with the job. You ain't no damn victim. Let me get this straight, Mr. Sergeant Mattingly. You're a victim because an unarmed black woman who wasn't committing any crimes whatsoever, there's no evidence that she committed any crimes. She never fired a weapon at you and your other fellow officers. She's dead. But that means you're a victim because you got to go in hiding. And you got to go in hiding not just because of this case, fella, but you're going in hiding because there's elements of the community that's pissed off, not just about what's going on right now, but what's been going on as it relates to the descendant of slaves in this country since we got here and after our so-called emancipation. That's the reason why you're in hiding. But you're the victim because you was just doing your job. I mean, listen, it's just some jobs that come with a lot of baggage. And being a police officer in these days and times, it is what it is. And it's deeper than just what's happening now. It's the sum total of what's been happening and what's been going on, period. And now it's getting to the point where it's bubbling over and people are going to the streets. But it comes, what you want me to do? You want me to whine for you and hold you and sleep, rock you to bed? I mean, it comes with the territory, man. It is what it is. My family's had to go into hiding. Well, let's think about why your family's in hiding. Your family's in hiding because an unarmed human being was killed and she didn't do a damn thing wrong. I mean, how many other abuses or claims of police brutality or police using deadly measures and then they're exonerated? How many other stories are down there in Louisville? I bet you it's a lot. I bet you go to Louisville and you ask black people in Louisville about the Louisville Police Department, man, I bet they'll open up and tell you all kind of stuff you never knew. Just like here in Cincinnati. You know what I'm saying? People come to Cincinnati, don't have no idea about the history. They completely ignorant about it whatsoever. You start telling them, their eyes will get big as saucers like, that happened here? Yeah, Timothy Thomas happened here. That happened here? Yeah, it happened here. So no, you're not the victim, Brett Mattingly. You basically had what amounts to a situation happen on a job. It's just that simple. If the Louisville Police Department had a better history and track record with black people in Louisville, his family wouldn't have to go in hiding. If law enforcement in general had a better history and a better relationship with the black community in particular, you wouldn't have to do this. It is what it is. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan the Choppers.
Hey, Brother Forte.
Hey, listen, he's a victim of an overzealous warrant that was no knock when it didn't need to be. He's a victim that they confused the judge because it said on her she was low risk. Why do you need a no knock search warrant for a low risk potential person. So, obviously the commentator didn't know the right questions to ask him. He is a victim. He's a victim that they did a no-knock search warrant on a person that was a super low level who probably didn't do anything at all. Did that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I'll follow, brother.
This is the one you knock on the door with the blue lights on and say, ma'am, we got a warrant to search your apartment. Come on outside. Or better than yet, she was going to school and going to work every day. Just get her at school or get her at work if you thought she was so dangerous. I'm just a common sense guy who unfortunately did no-knock search warrants in my career. And they can get out of control, and they have gotten out of control all over the country. This one's just getting a lot of publicity. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So, yeah, I did not see his interview, but he really needs to be saying that the clown who wrote the warrant, which wasn't him, put them in a precarious situation by giving them the authority to do a no-knock search warrant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then the young man was protecting the home. So I'm gonna tell you how they look when they entered that home. They look like them guys, the Boogaloo Boys, who standing around with big guns and vests on. You don't know if they're the police or they're the Aryans. Did that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So for that reason, in the state of Kentucky, with council doctrine, just like the state of Ohio, the state of Kentucky has stand your ground. No-knock search warrants should have been abolished a long time ago. Just like I told you, Waco didn't teach America nothing. Just think about the Waco fiasco. So I don't know what to say, man. It's a nightmare. We can't bring her back, obviously. He get a little bit of sympathy because I know he was a victim of the guy who wrote the warrant on a professional level, but he don't want to acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
So like I said, man, it really comes down to, these guys. I got to send you this link about an older New York cop who said these cops don't want to be police officers anymore. They want to be called to duty. They want to be soldiers. They want to get their big guns and their boots, and they want to overwhelm people with the superior force that they have. Did that make sense? So this is what we've seen in Louisville, and we've seen it all over the country. God bless the good police. I'm an advocate for that. But when you make a mistake, you're human. There's going to be consequences. He's still alive and breathing. He'll get a hero thing for that bullet in his leg. Breonna will never be here again. Her family will suffer forever. So, it is what it is, man. I just want to get that in. The show has been ballistic the last 2 weeks. I just haven't been able to call you.
Mm-hmm.
But you and the choppers and the callers, man, you're handling your business. And I appreciate listening to you when I get the opportunity.
Hey, Brother Forte, thanks for the flows. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I agree with him. Now that as soon as he said, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I agree with him. I agree with him on that point. He's right. Right. In that way, he is a victim. But see, that's the challenge right there. That's hard for Madeline to come out and say, you know what? I was a victim, but I was victimized by my own police officer, by the system itself. Now, that would have been interesting as hell. That would have been real interesting. Yeah. Great point. 513-873-7134. Now, real quick, family, I got to take a quick break, but I'll leave you with some motivational wisdom, just some words to get you through your day. I know I'm speaking to the choir. I don't even have to tell you this. I know you live your life by a certain code, just like I do. But for folks who might be coming online for the first time, hey, good morning to you. Please like and share today's show. Take a second to share today's show. When you share the show, more people see it. Real simple. My mission is very, very simple: to amplify Black voices in the greater Cincinnati area and beyond. And we are just getting started. All right. So I'll leave you with this quick break, maybe about 3 minutes. And I'll take that back. This is going to be a longer break. So maybe like 4 minutes. And I've got some Bloomberg Urban Report Black news for you as well. All right. Don't go anywhere, family. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. The Nathan Ivey Show, powered by Sin Digital Media.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
So many Democrats voting for Charlie Winburn. Democrat Malcolm Timmons.
I'm voting for Charlie Winburn because he's a man that does what he says he's going to do, and he gets things done for our community.
Democrat Nettie Matthews.
Of course I'm voting for my brother Charlie Winburn because he cares about the black community.
Democrat Paul Booth.
I'm voting for my longtime friend Charlie Winburn. He will put people over party.
Democrat Zakiya Allen.
I'm voting for Charlie Winburn because he has a positive track record in our community.
Democrat Charles Wiley.
I am voting for Charlie Winburn because he would be accountable to us.
Democrat Klein Carricker.
I'm voting for Charlie Winburn because he helps to train hundreds of African Americans through his leadership masterclass.
Democrat Jafanya Wynn.
I'm voting for Charlie Winburn because he cares about women with children, providing child care and a school for K through 8th graders.
Democrat T. Renee.
I want to see the first African American county treasurer elected after 230 years.
Vote Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer.
Paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
This is Felicia Cruz, former.
This is State Senator Cecil Thomas asking you to vote for Charmaine McGuffey for Sheriff of Hamilton County. As a former police officer, I know Charmaine is the only qualified candidate to be sheriff. She stands with our community and will lead with accountability. Her opponent used excessive force in the killing of an unarmed black man and led the highly controversial Vortex unit. He is the last person we need to lead our sheriff's office. Trust the judgment of someone who knows. Vote Charmaine McGuffey for sheriff, a vote for justice.
This is Charmaine McGuffey asking for your vote, paid for by people for McGuffey for sheriff.
With the Bloomberg Black Business Report, I'm Donna Wilson. In June, Microsoft announced a plan to double the number of Black and Latino managers and leaders at the company. But a new annual diversity report shows the company is falling short in boosting the number of Black and Latino workers in the U.S. The company said it raised the proportion of both Black and Latino groups by just 0.3 percentage points over the past year. That means Black workers represent 4.9% of its U.S. workforce, and Latino employees are at 6.6%. Valerie Jarrett, one of the most trusted advisors in the Obama administration, has joined Ralph Lauren's board of directors. And actress and producer Regina King has signed a first-look deal at Showtime to develop and produce TV projects. That's your Bloomberg Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
State Senator Cecil Thomas asking you to vote for Charmaine McGuffey for Sheriff of Hamilton County. As a former police officer, I know Charmaine is the only qualified candidate to be sheriff. She stands with our community and will lead with accountability. Her opponent used excessive force in the killing of an unarmed black man and led the highly controversial Vortex unit. He is the last person we need to lead our sheriff's office. Trust the judgment of someone who knows. Vote Charmaine McGuffey for sheriff, a vote for justice.
This is Charmaine McGuffey asking for your vote, paid for by people for McGuffey for sheriff.
So many Democrats voting for Charlie Winburn. Democrat Malcolm Timmons.
I'm voting for Charlie Winburn because he's a man that does what he says he's going to do, and he gets things done for our community.
Democrat Nettie Matthews.
Of course I'm voting for my brother Charlie Winburn because he cares about the black community.
Democrat Paul Booth.
I'm voting for my longtime friend Charlie Winburn. He will put people over party.
Democrat Zakiya Allen.
I'm voting for Charlie Winburn because he has a positive track record in our community.
Democrat Charles Wiley.
I am voting for Charlie Winburn because he would be accountable to us.
Democrat Klein Carricker.
I'm voting for Charlie Winburn because he helps to train hundreds of African Americans through his leadership masterclass.
Democrat Jafanya Wynn.
I'm voting for Charlie Winburn because he cares about women with children, providing child care and a school for K through 8th graders.
Democrat T. Renee.
I want to see the first African American county treasurer elected after 230 years.
Vote Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer.
Paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
You're listening to the Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now let's get back to the flow.
Good morning, everybody. Nathan Ivey with you, Nathan Ivey Show. We are digital. Matter of fact, we are Cincinnati's first daily digital talk show that focuses on the Black community, powered by Sin Digital Media. Good morning to you. Remember, family, no one is to blame for your future. No one is to blame for your future situation but yourself. If you want to be successful, then become successful. That's it. But I know I'm speaking to the choir. Share that information. It might touch one person this morning. I'm good with that. Hey, welcome to my home studio. Got to take care of that plant over there. My wife will kill us. My wife's plant, actually. I'm supposed to be taking care of her. And let's just say I'm going to have to move it, actually. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Had a real dope conversation or phone call actually right before the break with Brother Forte, who, you know, we all know is a member of the police force here in Cincinnati, and also one half of the dynamic duo with Ride or Die LLC. If you're looking to get CCW training or tactical training, check them out. But the officer or an officer in the Breonna Taylor case claims he's a victim too. And my initial thought is, how are you a victim? Nah, you ain't no victim. And I'm right about that, except in one area in which Brother Forte called in and set the record straight. Actually, this man is a victim of a system, the bad warrant that put his life in jeopardy for no reason whatsoever. But of course, Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly is not going to say that. I would have loved to see the interviewer press that point more in that particular interview. I think that's a very interesting point. What do you think? 513-873-7134. Also, COVID-19. I'm calling out human beings this morning. We don't have no damn control. You don't have any control. We think we got COVID-19 licked. I can tell from our spineless governor, Mike DeWine, that he thinks that with enough time, the doctors will figure it all out. Well, we don't have a lot of time because people are getting sick. Public schools are back open again. And we're teetering on having a purple flag here in Hamilton County in Cincinnati. Did you know that more than 60% of the state's residents currently live in counties in Ohio that are in the red? Teetering on purple. Purple is the most severe color-coded warning that can be given to a county here in the state of Ohio. If you're in the purple, that means that the infection rates are out of control, right? Out of control. And that's what we're teetering on. And if you look at the state of Ohio under that context of the governor's color coding, it looks like a house on fire. It looks like a house on fire. And there's so many question marks about COVID, so many things that we don't know. They're talking about vaccines. We don't even know if you can get COVID and then be reinfected with COVID. And if so, what's the time frame? The scientists admit that there's a lot they don't know about it. But somehow in the state of Ohio here, the governor thinks that all we got to do is just ask people to just be 6 feet apart. And you know what? People aren't even doing that. People are not sitting 6 feet apart everywhere. They're not doing that. They're like 4.5 feet. I see them everywhere I go. You got people out here jogging with no mask on. I'm just saying. You got people out here heavy breathing. I don't want your heavy talking to you in the morning. You trying to get your walk on. I don't want none of that, man. I don't want any of that. Keep your little COVID cooties over there. So let's take it from the top. 35% of the American population, 35% of your friends and family, not you, not this audience, because we on point. I understand my audience is a reflection of me and vice versa. We on point. I'm talking about everybody else. 35% of everybody else has lost their damn mind when it comes to COVID-19. Arguing about wearing masks and all this stuff about your freedoms. And if you get it, I get it. With no care and concern whatsoever to your fellow man or your neighbor. But that's where we are now. God's perfect little selfish ass. That's what God created. A whole bunch of selfish ass organisms. That's what he did. He created a whole bunch of selfish, self-interested, self-indulged, self-absorbed, carbon-based creatures. That's what he did. That's what we are. Where 35% of the population don't give a damn about the other 65% at all. Could care less about you. Your kids, your livelihood, your job. We don't give a damn. As long as we can do what we want to do when we want to do it, it's all good, homie. 35% of the population is our problem. It is our problem. I'll make that point again. And then I'm just trying to wake human beings up about the arrogance. You know, I was talking with the superintendent, did a joint show with Donnie B this week on Tuesday, right? And you know, as I keep going over it in my head, we got to get out of our arrogance, believing that we can control this. We cannot control COVID-19. It's clear. I'm telling you what they won't tell you on television. I'm telling you what the leaders won't tell you is that we have no control over this. We can't see it. And then the American population hasn't been getting ready for war. The vast majority of us are just like, well, the term I used earlier was just chicken nuggets, man. I mean, we just little sacrificial lambs, little plump, little baby lambs just waiting to be plucked into the mouths of the elites, fall into somebody's scheme and somebody else's game. We're not prepared for something like this. We ain't prepared for this. But we think because we can put a bubble, we're gonna change the filters. Everybody's gonna wash their hands to get tested. Where that work at? Where that work at? Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. This is your West Side Connection. Sleeping in this morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I just joined your show at about 5:15, 5:20. So whenever I join late, I go back and read the comments. But I'm looking at your cover art. Mr. Ivey, why are you promoting this idiot, this police officer? Well, I mean, I understand, but I don't even see why you would even promote it, because it's obvious what's going on in the media. Good Morning America is trying to compete with CBS. That is plain and clear. Why would they put this guy on the air in the first place other than for ratings? Because he knows it's going to be picked up by new black media, by podcasters, by just, people on Twitter. Again, the interview of this police officer makes no sense. And I heard Brother Forte's call, and he's 100% right. This guy, this white police officer, is lobbying to be another Mark Furman. I guarantee you that this police officer reached out to ABC to do the interview. Because what reason would this police officer have to come on and grant an interview to a morning show? Now, I didn't watch it. When I woke up this morning, my radio was on The Breakfast Club. And Charlemagne the God made this guy the donkey of the day. So I probably wouldn't have watched it anyway, because what's the point in watching this guy's interview on TV? But we'll have to see what the ratings are for ABC, this Good Morning America, because it's clear what the media is doing. And that's why I can't stand them, because all they do is exploit black pain and suffering to help promote a desperate Democrat agenda. Now, Mr. Ivey, the main reason I call is our great first black president, Barack Hussein Obama, last night at the parking lot rally. Did you see the whole thing, Mr. Ivey?
I did not see the whole thing, no.
Okay, I saw most of it. He was definitely reading from a teleprompter, which is no big deal. But Mr. Ivey, he could have done that on MSNBC. He could have done that on your show. He sounded no different than anybody else out here that's critiquing Donald Trump. I mean, I just think it was a waste of time for Barack Obama, because I really don't think it's gonna help Sleepy Joe, especially after the night. Because I think after the night, and then after seeing Barack Obama last night, it's going to just discourage more Democrat voters not to show up.
Oh, really?
I'm not saying they're going to vote. I'm not saying they're going to vote for Donald Trump, but to see Barack Obama again with the same type of speech that he gave for Hillary Clinton in 2016, that he gave for Andrew Gillum when he was running for governor, that he gave Stacey Abrams when she was running for governor in Georgia, that he gave multiple candidates who were trying to run for particular seats. Barack Obama just does not have the magic anymore, Mr. Ivey. And again, I get it why he's doing it. It's going to help his fundraising, and he's been doing a pretty good job raising money for Joe Biden. And that's how he got the nickname Magic Negro. It was from a black New York Times reporter who compared Barack Obama to other black entertainers like Sidney Poitier, who were able to navigate amongst white folks and get them to reach in their pockets and give him money or support his cause. So that's how Barack Obama got the name the Magic Negro, from a LA Times reporter or freelance writer. I don't have his name, but I could get it. But that's really all I got, Mr. Ivey. The whole Barack Obama thing, it's just sad because he can't run for president. And, if he continues to go out there, Trump said a little bit about him at the rally last night, but Trump really doesn't even need to go at him because he's not running. Sleepy Joe is the man. And if the Democrat Party continues to pull this stuff like they did with Barack Obama giving a speech in a parking lot, it's just going to make things worse. On top of the Ice Cube, the P. Diddy's, and the 50 Cents, it's just getting worse, Mr. Ivey. So that's all I got. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
I got to hold your feet to the fire about something real quick, though, before you roll out.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, you've been saying, where is Barack Obama? For months.
Yeah.
You've been saying it. Where is Barack Obama?
Yeah.
Why is Barack Obama out here? Even going back to the primary, where is Barack Obama? Why isn't Barack Obama out here supporting Joe Biden? And when he finally steps out and says something, you say that it was a waste of time.
12 days to go, Mr. Ivey. It's 12 days. Hell yeah, it's too late.
Yeah, 12 days before the election, and the vast
Mr.
majority of people who are going to vote haven't voted yet. So, yeah.
No, Mr. Ivey, stop, sir. Mr. Ivey, have you seen the reports of all the early voting and how the mainstream media keeps promoting it and only showing black faces standing in line?
What's your point?
Oh, my point is 1/3 of the voters have already voted. So why would Barack Obama wait 12 days to go? Why didn't he come out, say, 2-3 weeks ago? Maybe we wouldn't have the contract with Black America.
So
maybe we wouldn't have P. Diddy starting the Black People's political
Those two
party.
things have nothing to do with one another. But out of your own mouth, 2/3, or going back to what I said, the majority of people who are going to vote have not voted. That's why he's still out here and why it's still potentially impactful, because people haven't voted yet. Come on now.
Okay, so Mr. Ivey, if you don't mind me asking you a question.
You're a hypocrite, man.
Why
Be
would
consistent.
No, but why did he give the speech in Philadelphia and not North Carolina or Arizona or Texas? Why Philly? Philly, that's Pennsylvania. That's Scranton. That's Sleepy Joe's state, the slave state.
You do understand what you answer your own question, but you do understand that this is the digital age. So just because he gives a speech in Philadelphia, it's not like when Abraham Lincoln was out here. They have recording devices, streaming devices. I mean, the location matters to a point, but in terms of everybody else seeing it, it really don't matter. You saw it. You in California. I saw it. I'm in Ohio. Yeah. So whether he's in Philly or not,
it was streamed live.
Point.
Well, because Mr. Ivey, Philadelphia, the so-called polling that the Democrats have and that these national pollers are putting out shows that Joe Biden is having a problem in Philly.
Maybe you answered your own question. That's why Obama was there.
Okay, but 12 days to go. Now, I hope that answers your question.
Seems like perfect timing to me because the majority of the electorate has not voted. That means they're still persuadable.
Okay. Right. Okay, but again, hey, if this is what the Democrats and Tom Perez thinks is going to help close the enthusiasm gap and help close the black divide within their black monolith voting group, then, hey, I guess you got to do what you got to do.
I mean, you're acting like it don't make sense. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you acting like it don't make sense to have the man who was the recent democratically elected president, Barack Obama, who's still relatively has got some good positivity rankings if you ask people about him. To come out before the election, right? Almost 2 weeks before the election, and to start stumping for him, I don't understand. And then you and I both know this is going to come out to one word: turn out.
Turn out.
Right.
Turn out.
So who better to help turn you out than the last Democrat that was elected president, man? I just feel like you're being overly
Mr.
critical
Ivey,
just for the sake of being overly critical.
Okay. Let me just say this last thing, then I'm going to hang up.
But how can you gauge
Ivey,
whether he
did not help
the turnout, and the turnout hasn't happened yet?
Well, okay. What's one of your favorite sayings is the best way to determine future behavior? The best way to determine future behavior is past performance. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Barack Obama's past performances for stumping for candidates for the Democrat Party has not been very good. I mean, shit, it hasn't been anything. He does not have the ability to get people to vote for other people. People will vote for him, but he can't persuade Democrats to vote for other Democrats. His track record speaks for itself, especially in 2016. And he didn't even campaign in 2018. Well, he did a little bit, but again, Donald Trump wasn't on the ballot in 2018. So shout out to Barack Obama. He's still looking good. He's taking care of himself.
He is.
But some of the actual pundits, Mr. Ivey, because I watched some of the pundits last night when Barack wrapped up, and a lot of them are saying the same thing, that, yeah, it was great, but it's almost a little bit too late, because a month ago, when he should have been out, the polling was like, Donald Trump has no chance. Donald Trump's got the COVID. Oh, we could just kick back and we got this thing. It's locked up. But then when Trump had that miraculous recovery from the COVID, coming out looking all orange, giving his roll-up campaigns at the hangars at airports, then the polling numbers started to change. And then along came, of course, the Black Divide with Ice Cube and 50 and blah, blah, blah. So I get it. Bring out Barack. Let's see if he still has the magic. But that's all I got. Thank you for giving me the time, Mr. Ivey. And your show is blowing up. Did you see the video I made of you when I was walking while I retired, Mr. Ivey?
It's on Twitter. I'm going to check it out right now.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Ivey, I spliced it and diced it, sir. You got to see it. I posted it, I think, last night on your timeline.
All right. I'm going to look at it right now.
That's all I got. Thank you for taking my call, Mr. Ivey.
Thank you for making the call. Appreciate it. Hey, shout out to Omar, Ray Dog. What's up, Ray Dog? Ray, good morning to you. Truth Fighter 13. Appreciate everybody on Twitter. Yeah, Truth Fighter. I see you, David Ziegler. David Ziegler is back, causing a ruckus, a.k.a. the first mayor of Cincinnati, Ohio. So let me go to drop real quick. I don't see it here. Looking at this right now. I'm on Twitter looking for this tweet that Drop said he made. Oh, here it is. I see you. Walking while retired and hashtag winning. You ain't, man. Why are you walking on the side of the interstate, man? This is a video that Drop made. Why are you walking on the side of the interstate? Hold on, let me put this. I think I can play this on the put this on the screen for you. You can check it out. You might be like, no, we don't want to check out this damn thing. I get it, but I'm gonna put it up there anyway. No, this is Drop. Look at Drop doing they're making videos. Man, I don't want to see myself.
I'll be honest with you. I would be absolutely honest with you. The most powerful thing black people could really do this election.
Is that the show? Is he listening to the show while he's walking?
The most powerful thing black people could really do this election was not vote at all. Let it be known that we will not be participating in the election at all.
Why am I watching this? I don't know.
Drop Squad 52, walking while retired. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Shout out to the Nathan Ivey Show. Live Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Spreaker. Get to the choppers!
Well,
shout out to the host, Nathan from Cincy on Twitter, Sin Digital Media, the man behind the production company, Sin Digital Media, Nathan Ivey. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Drop Squad 52, walking while retired with the Nathan Ivey Show. Tell them what you really feel about walking, Mr. Ivey.
I mean, I'm into this walking thing now. I just love it. He is nuts, man. He is wild. He is wild, but I appreciate the love on that. You know what? We may have to incorporate that into the show somehow, man. I appreciate the promo. I didn't know what we was getting into, man, but I just figured it was worth it. It was worth a shot. Oh my God. This dude. Bobby writes, good morning. Fame writes, this app should be deleted. You know, he's on Facebook posting every day, but he says that the Facebook app should be deleted. So don't say nothing about contradictions. Just kind of go with the flow. There's a moral to the story somewhere. Carmelita writes, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. Alicia writes, good morning, or God's morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Good morning, everybody. KR Mitchell writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Kevin Hummins writes, good morning. Charles writes, he's a victim of his job. A victim of what exactly? I thought Forte made an excellent point. I think he made an excellent point. And his point was that Mattingly is a victim. He wasn't a victim of Kenneth Walker, though. He was a victim of the chain of command and the process that led to that bad warrant and then put his life in jeopardy. That's what Kenneth Walker, and I'm sorry, that's what Mattingly, that should be his story right now. Jonathan Mattingly, that should be his narrative in the media right now. That I was a victim of a bad warrant. Now, he does that, I can rock with that. That makes sense to me. Good morning to you. Yeah, Trump is wild, man. Trump is wild, and so is Drop. Drop is wild, too. But I appreciate you. Lynn writes, good morning. Nat writes, good morning. Charles writes, COVID-19, it's a hell of a hoax. Yes, it is. Brent writes, good morning, Nathan Choppers, checking in from Dallas, Texas. Good to see you. Man plans, God laughs. Right. Man, we think we have it all figured out, family. We have outsmarted the universe. We can out-God God. Yeah, yeah. COVID-19, just give us some time. Our scientists are going to figure it all out. And until then, we know exactly what to do. Okay, we're going to put some plastic up. Everybody's going to wash their hands. Yeah, that'll work. We're going to get tested. Yeah, that'll work. We'll put some filters on the HVAC system. Yeah, that'll work. We got it licked. Oh, we got this covered because we are humans, and humans are superior over everything in God's domain. And whatever we think goes, and all this other goobly gop that usually ends up in human beings shooting themselves in their own foot, blowing our own deal. Like, we got a good deal on here on Earth. We got a good deal. You know what I'm saying? We the third planet from the sun and everything kind of works out in terms of the climate. You know what I'm saying? Right? We just spinning on our axis through the universe in a perfect little safe little path. We got it all figured out. We got a good deal here, and we're blowing it. We're wrecking the environment. The plants and the trees created COVID-19. They're trying to get rid of us, just like in that M. Night Shyamalan. Anybody hit the M. Night Shyamalan? Well, before Peele hit the stage, you know what I'm saying? M. Night Shyamalan was like the big, like, super horror sci-fi guy, right? And then Peele came along and just kicked them off, you know, with some horror, socially inspired, movies. Get Out, Us. But anyway, he had a movie in which the plot was that the trees were trying to get rid of human beings. So the trees were releasing like some invisible element, and it would make human beings commit suicide. So human beings would like be doing their job. They get a whiff of whatever, some of that tree cologne, and then they would kill themselves, and so the whole movie is people running away from tree cologne. Because once they get a whiff of that deadly tree cologne, it's a wrap for you. Like, whatever you can do, you're going to walk into the traffic. If you got a weapon, you're going to shoot yourself in the head. But the commentary is that Mother Earth has a defense system that she will use even against us. Is that what's happening right now with COVID-19? I don't know. Charles writes, funny that Trump is on Mike DeWine, yet Pence praised him yesterday. They will clean up behind the Cheeto forever. Yes, they will. Fast Pitch writes, good morning, all, minus the K and D's, the Karens and Darrens. Florida family writes, everybody a victim except the victim. Kevin Hummus writes, if you haven't figured out the various forms of cancer, how you going to figure this virus out? Exactly. I mean, we still haven't figured out triple negative breast cancer. But we're going to figure out COVID-19 though, right? Just give us 6 or 7 months, It's like putting your car in the auto in the shop, They'll call you when it's ready. They'll figure it all out. They'll figure it all out and call you when it's ready. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much. Crystal writes, top of the morning, y'all. Good morning to you. He said, that's called stupidity. Maurice writes, Hamilton County has the highest rate in this fake virus in the state of Ohio. Guess who is the highest rate amongst those who have it? Us. Remember when the U.S. government decided to speak up about it? Who they said it would affect the most? ? People need to worry about these 5G towers. The game is this. Put your mind and focus on something else while they are doing something else. A lot of people don't know that Uptown has so much radiation. You know what? People keep talking about these 5G towers, and I've got a line on a guest that's like involved in this work. I'm going to reach out to her again and see if we can't get her on what's the deal? Is it the 5G creating something in the atmosphere? I mean, what exactly is it? I don't really know. Dale writes, are we in Idiocracy? I did see that movie, and we are, unfortunately. The answer is yes. Maurice writes, the first thing they check for when you go into a hospital is your temperature. I am one of the people that don't wear a mask unless I am going into an establishment. My temperature has never been high, not even when I go to the hospital. I have MS. I have had it for 13 years. Population control, he writes. Kelly writes, good morning. Sean writes, good morning. Anime Savage writes, hey, what's going on? Judge Joe Brown, though, Nate. Judge Joe Brown, huh? I believe Trump is going to win. I am cynical when it comes to politics. Really? I believe that Trump is going to lose right now. I'll go ahead and tell you. I think that he won by a razor-thin margin. He won. He lost the popular vote. He was up against a candidate in Hillary Clinton who was just as unpopular as he is. And I think that the fact that Hillary Clinton was a woman hurt her. I think you have some men out there who, at the end of the day, was like, I just ain't gonna vote for a woman in power. And I think it was a perfect storm. The difference between now and then is that you got a lot of people that were Democrats that voted for him. You had a lot of people that were Republicans who were on the fence about Trump, but they voted for him because he was a non-politician, right? At that particular time, the people didn't want a politician. They wanted somebody from outside of the same old political family like Hillary Clinton, and they wanted somebody who was completely new. And Trump was the only person that was there, and he won. Plus, the Russians were successful in their cyber terrorism. It all came together. This time around, my spider sense is saying something different. I ain't really feeling it like that. I think that COVID-19 was the straw that broke the camel's back for a lot of people that were on the fence. Because even those people couldn't deny what was actually happening. They couldn't deny what they were seeing. They couldn't deny that Trump was on some dumb-ish at a time when people were dying and getting sick and things like that. They couldn't deny it. So I think he blew his own deal with that one. That's just my gut telling me that. I don't have to be right. That's just me. David writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Let me see. Beijing Barry. Crystal writes, Barack went in. I was surprised. Yeah, that was a little bit. That's the Barack Obama that we wanted to see a little bit earlier. We wanted to see more of him when he was a president, but he was being presidential for the sake of the country and all this kind of stuff. I get it. Barack Hussein Obama sounds like he had a little testicular fortitude for the first time. Wow. A little testicular fortitude. Daryl writes, I smell trolling, Nate. Me too. David writes, that was some yabba dabba do ignorance from Tennessee. It was. It was. I think we had the same call like 3 times in a row. Could just be me, though. Our same caller. Jazora writes, love to all my Black African people all around the world. Absolutely, Jazora. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe. Dale writes, trolls. Glenn writes, that's the same dude, Nate. Yup. LX, same dude. Yup. Alicia writes, yeah, nope, fake calls. Oh, I'm with you 100%. Janice writes, good morning. Dale writes, my trolling games is strong. Cassandra writes, white fear. Good morning, Nate. Toy writes, now that Nate has said the last days of common sense, I can't unhear it. It keeps showing up. Right. Sharing is caring, and I care. Thank you so much, Leslie. Appreciate it. Nathan, it hasn't been concluded definitively that Mr. Walker hit that offers. Could have been friendly. In that interview, I believe that it was said that they believe that he was shot by Kenneth Walker. I believe that's what the man said, Jonathan Mattingly. If I'm in error, then I'll correct later. But I believe that's what he said in the interview. He should have 2 more in the other hot seat with him. Those other 2 officers should have been charged as well. Adele writes, white arrogance. Cleopatra writes, rise and shine, Nathan Ivey and the Choppers. Kevin writes, they weren't able to conclude it was Kenny's bullet that hit him. Okay. David writes, I remember Waco. Brent writes to Forte, facts on facts on facts on facts. Yeah, he was on point. Brent writes, how do you tell the difference between the cops and the Proud Boys? They dress the same and look the same. Janice writes, for that police officer and his family, this can or should be one of those learning moments. He and his family could understand what it's like to be Black every day, being a target on a daily basis, making them more empathetic. Something tells me it won't. It won't. You know, something happens, it kind of makes you more of who you are depending on who you are. It is what it is. All right, let's go back to the phones and say good morning and welcome to the show. Hey, good morning.
Hi. I wanted to say I'm glad you pressed that guy, the last caller. That was really good. I think that Obama doing it was the right timing now. I think, he maybe could have done it a bit earlier, but I think that it was still the right thing to do.
Okay. Hey, caller, what's your name?
My name is Jeff.
Jeff, okay. Well, Jeff, don't be a stranger, man. Thanks for listening. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, most def. That's Jeff. That's Jeff. Welcome, Jeff. Jeff sounds kind of like L and X. I don't know. If I'm wrong, Jeff, I'm wrong. But you're always welcome to share your opinion. If this virus is airborne, it will get in your children's clothes, in your clothes as well. Come on, people. We are dealing with very evil and wicked people. Oh, okay. You're going the evil and wicked people route. Okay. Blessed Beauty writes, good morning. We're playing checkers while they play chess. A bunch of pawns we are. Deborah writes, good morning. Letty writes, good morning. Nathan Ivey and the Choppers. Good morning to you, Letty. Greg writes, grand risings, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Rachel writes, right. He was on a roll until he tried to make it political. Drip is sounding like a leaky faucet. Crystal writes, Trump is mad about the mute button. I can't wait for them to use it. He's going to make them use it. Yeah, he is. He is. He is going to make them use it. No doubt about it. Trump don't give a damn about your mute button. He don't care about the rules. Trump is going to do him. And in that way, he attracts a lot of people because people are attracted to people who come across like that. People are attracted to what they perceive to be strength. They're attracted to it naturally. They can't even help themselves. Even if they try to resist, that's just the way that we've been conditioned as human beings in this country. It is what it is. Let's go to the phone. Say good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Stu. I'm calling from Mason. Do you fart? How you doing, Nate?
I'm doing great, man. Welcome.
What the hell is going on today, man? What is it, Wacky Wednesday?
It's
what is
Wacky Wednesday, yeah.
I'm thrown off.
I think you're right. It's Wacky Wednesday. For some people.
Well, it sounded to me like some of the QCTs, the THNs, and the drop squad smooth types have called you today, man. They got a hold of your number somehow, man.
Yeah,
I mean, it's more viewers, but what the hell's going on, man? I'm like, Nate, I got that kind of feeling today, man. I got that TSA tingle. And I found something that's been happening to you, man, the last, I would say 2 months. But you and Barack Obama got a little something in common. I don't know if you know that or not.
Uh-oh. What's that?
Because normally, man, you've been the consummate professional host. Like Barack Obama, no drama Obama. Nate don't got time for hate types. But I noticed with Drop that you started to dog walk him lately. Like you pretty much got fed up. You look like Barack Obama yesterday. You look like he was ready to cut. Because you're tired of the BS. You said something early in the show. You said, if there's one group of people that have got their stuff together and that are paying attention to the news, it's got to be the choppers. I think that, and from a guy that follows politics as much as I do, I think the choppers and the Spreaker, Facebook, and YouTube, we're probably more politically in tune locally and nationally than any other group that I tend to associate with. I mean, my friends think I'm crazy, and they don't give a damn about it. They just want me to get in the tee box and hit the damn ball. But my point being is that when you get Drop So Smollett to call in and he tries to play the why is Barack Obama in Philadelphia, he truly doesn't understand politics. And Nate, you mentioned it. You're talking about that thin margin that Donald Trump won back in 2016 by the Electoral College. It happened in what states, Nate? We all know this. Everybody said in unison, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. He won those states by 0.7%, 77,000 votes, Nate. I don't know if you saw Charlemagne the God when he announced that he was going to vote for Joe Biden. He was on with Don Lemon. Did you see that?
I didn't see it, no.
Well, right before that, they had a segment where they were in, I want to say Philadelphia. No, they were in Detroit. And they were talking to voters. And it was rugged and raw. I mean, we had a sister out there. You reminded me of some of the sisters in the chop shop. She was out there trying to get people registered to vote. Of course, she was trying to get people to register and hopefully vote Democratic. But they asked her about some of the problems that, she sees in the community and some of the problems that she sees with the Democratic Party. Well, of course, she got some of the same complaints that we all know, and I will acknowledge as a staunch Democrat that they have sometimes. And she talked about people taking their votes for granted. And they talked to individual people, and you had the sister out there that was like, F Donald Trump and the police type. Then you had the ones that were like, back in 2016, I really didn't like Hillary. I voted for Obama. I really wasn't enthused. And, I just thought Donald Trump was tripped out, so I really didn't care who he was. And then you had the sister out there talking to people, just walking up to them like, we had Reading Road in Tennessee. They were ready to get on the 43 or whatever. And, they like, man, I ain't got time to vote. I got to work. It just ain't happening. We all know the attitude out there. But the point being, when they did the segment, Nate, they showed that in Detroit, the difference between Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton was like 83,000 votes in this like one particular district. It's like they took Hamilton County as an example. And they said it's just half of those 83,000 that didn't come out and vote in 2016, had they come out, Donald Trump wouldn't have been president because he wouldn't have won Michigan. And the same story was in those other two states. This gets to my other point. For the longest, and I haven't called in, I just sat back, make a fool of himself like Drop does all the time. But he talks about the enthusiasm gap. We know right here in Cincinnati, folks, this hasn't turned into the damn Rodney King tape that you can see lines around the block in Hamilton County's Board of Elections. You see what's happening down in South Carolina. You got CNN, MSNBC, Fox, if you're a Gilligan and watch that crap. You see what's happening down in Georgia. People are out there voting. Nate, I don't know if you knew this or not, but in the state of Texas, they've already had more people vote by mail-in and early voting than they had all the people vote in 2016 for Donald Trump. That's in Texas. So people haven't even showed up to the polls yet. And we still got more mail-in votes and early voting to go. What we got, 2 weeks? So don't believe that hype. Don't believe the crap is what you hear from Drop. Folks, like I said, let's not turn this into the Rodney King tape. I know what I see. You know what you see. Nate, I'm kind of like you. I'm a little hesitant, man, to just go out there and say, Biden's going to win by a landslide. The numbers look good. I think the mistakes that the pollsters made back in 2016, I think they're not trying to make that mistake again because all their reputation took a humongous hit. So Nate Silver, who actually predicted a lot of what happened, Nate, is a lot of pollsters predicted the popular vote. They didn't predict Donald Trump just sliding by with 0.7% in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. So they're not going to make that mistake twice. So, but you throw out there that you believe Joe Biden's going to win. I do too, Nate. But I know politics, man. And I know what they're trying to do. You got Republicans all over this country, Nate, trying to keep ballot boxes from being set up in different counties. I mean, I think a reasonable person would say, you know what? Maybe we need to add extra ballot drop-off boxes during a freaking pandemic. Does that sound wild to you, Nate, or is that like kind of common sense type stuff?
It sounds like common sense type stuff.
I mean, why couldn't you put, I don't know, a secured, hunkered down, freaking put it in cement on every post office in the city? Put it on post office ground, under camera. If you're in Gilligan and going to go, try to swipe a damn ballot box drop off, then I don't know, give them 20 years. No, 3-strike rules for fools. You get me? But get it done. That's the point. Nate, I can't wait for the debate last night. We doing a chop debate party type stuff tonight?
Yeah, we sure are.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be there. And bring your little punk ass, your little crew with you too if you want to. Now let me try to get back to work, man. But you know how it is. I'm going old school. I hope you getting what I'm spitting, you sissies. I'm out.
He's out. That's all I need. You said you and your little crew. Y'all funny, man. That's hilarious. That's Mason Mahler. Appreciate the flows. Hey, listen, if you want to call into the show this morning and share your thoughts, 513-873-7134. It's a free call anywhere in the country and in some places around the world. And you can just do something as simple as calling in just to say hi, or you can leave a message, whatever is your pleasure, whatever you're into this morning. On this show, you always got your Miranda rights. The right to remain silent and just be edutained. Let me do the work. You handle your business, and I'll take care of this over here, and we'll come together and make a good show. Typically. Drip has been calling for Obama. Well, Drop has been calling at Obama. I had to bring that point to him. Like, you've been saying, where's Barack Obama? And then when you show up, you say, oh, it's a waste of time. How is it a waste of time when the vast majority of people haven't voted yet? And we know this election is about turnout. All right, let's go back to the phones. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Hi, Nathan. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. Brother Fame.
It is.
Froderick Douglas.
The gentleman before me was not talking about me, was he? Insulting me. Was he?
I mean, I don't think so, but let's say he was, just to stir the pot. Yeah, he was talking about you. I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
I'm joking.
I mean, I'm just saying, he up there talking about, I hope they getting what I'm spitting, but he talks about cutting off genitalia. So what are you spitting? He's the only person that calls in and constantly makes references to people's genitalia, balls, and everything else. What's up with dude? Now, that's a serious question. You know him better than I do. What's up with son?
I've already told you, man. That's part of his creativity and a part of his flow. Y'all going back.
There's nothing creative about a 50-year-old man talking about cutting off your genitalia.
I don't remember him saying that.
He said that this morning. # neuter or something.
Okay.
I was like, here you go again.
Okay. So he didn't say it. He wrote
and he just said something, and he just used the word balls in his flow.
I hear you. You seem to be very fixated on that. He said a lot of stuff, but that's the only thing you hear.
Because that was the only thing that caught me like that wasn't like normal. Like,
well, don't let it
this
catch
is a 50-year-old man. Why does he keep referring to men's genitalia?
We've been through
But
this.
it goes back to what Ashula was saying last week about the show losing balance. You're okay with men talking about other men's genitalia, apparently. Been doing it for 90 damn days.
It goes
Everything
back
out of his mouth.
to-
I'm gonna cut your dick off. I'm gonna cut your balls off.
I got you. Think about the kids, brother. Think about the kids.
Oh,
But
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize,
you're
children.
losing yourself. But listen,
Hey,
here's what it
Wiz
goes back
Nation
to.
101.1. Watch Think of the Kids too. But go ahead.
Here's what it comes back to. What it comes back to is when you started the whole alt middle thing with the wolves. That's when he started saying.
There's no such thing as a domesticated
Can I
wolf.
tell you? Can I tell you? Or are you going to talk under me? You just asked me a question. Let me answer it. So it goes back to when you create the whole alt middle wolves, right? Comparing yourself to an animal, right? That was your Indian spirit, your wolf, and all that kind of stuff. So when you brought that up, then he came out with the whole Price is Right, Bob Barker, spay and neuter, right? So that's where it comes from.
Well, can I just tell you how unclever that is?
Well, I mean, I hear you.
Because nobody captivates wolves to neuter them. When a wolf is in captivity, he's usually banging a Siberian husky to create a wolf-dog hybrid. So what the F is this 50-something-year-old man talking about?
Is that a case study? Can I Google that? Just to...
Oh, yeah.
Can I Google
there's
that?
No
but anyway,
so there's no
all
such
rhetorical,
thing
brother.
as a neutered wolf.
It's all rhetorical. Y'all going back and forth.
Who neuters wild
and
animals?
That's why he came up with it. And that's why he says
because he's unclever.
I mean, that's your opinion.
That's what A. Shula was talking about. The show losing balance. And you blame me for that. I think we need to talk about that.
I'm not really sure that's what she was talking about. I think Ashula was making another point about Cam, Israel.
That's what it kind of goes to, though. It kind of lends itself toward that.
Lends itself toward what?
She used your medical condition against you. I won't do that.
She used my medical condition against me. I don't remember her doing that. What did she say exactly?
I'm sorry. First of all, let's be clear.
Yeah, let's be clear.
Your nickname Single Jingle?
Say what now?
Are you not a single jingle?
I don't know what that means. What does that mean exactly?
You have one testicle.
As the legend goes, yeah. I sacrificed a testicle and I put one on eBay. So the men of the world could collectively have some testicular fortitude is what they put it. Yeah, so yes, that's how the legend goes. Yes.
Okay, well, that's what she was talking. I thought she went there. I'm not going there. What I'm saying is that's what she was talking about. It lends itself to show not having balance. Men don't talk about cutting other men's members off.
Well, I think that if you want to go
that
that
you
route,
for allowing it, even in jest, it's like it's not even funny.
Yeah,
you never laughed at that once. Like,
I get you.
Oh, okay,
I get you. But most
he's been calling radio for 30 years, and after 30 years, that's the best he's got on a work night. I'm gonna threaten your genitals.
Yeah, something like that. But again, I already told you the history about it. As far as what Ashula said, I'll be honest with you. You got me at a disadvantage. I don't remember her saying any of that. Now, I do remember her bringing something up about a vasectomy, but again, in the heat of the moment and having a conversation, I can't really remember every little word that people say. It sounds like you did. But again, here's what I would say to you.
I want to talk about what I called
Here's what I would say to you. Here's what I would say to you. What I would say to you is that when Glenn calls in, he says a lot of things. It's very interesting that you only fixate on this particular thing.
Because that's the only thing that makes me pop up. Everything else I've been hearing for 30 years.
Okay.
Barry Goldwater. Democrats are the greatest thing that since sliced bread. Republicans ain't ish. I mean, you've been hearing the same thing for 30 years. What I want to hear him talk about is what exactly happened. What I want to hear him talk about is what actually happened when you pulled up on Lance McAllister. How did that conversation go? And what the F made you think that was a good idea to have your big black ass pull up on that little white man like that?
Well, you know what you should do?
He's never discussed that.
You know what you should do?
He's never discussed that. We've only heard Lance's side of the story. I want to hear the side of the story of the black man.
I got you, brother. I got you. You know what you should do?
What I'm interested in seeing tonight.
Are you and Glenn Facebook friends? No, you and Glenn are Twitter friends, right?
I've asked him. He won't talk about it.
Okay, you should ask him on Twitter, man. And if he don't want to talk about it, he don't want to talk about it. It's just that simple.
He wants to pretend like it never happened.
I don't think he's worried about it. Neither should you.
Yeah, he don't want. But listen, man. Listen. I'm interested in seeing the reactions, the composure of the two tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that was a well discussed topic after the first event, wasn't it? You know, Biden, you know, talking about how he was racist and Trump saying, man, you can't call me racist. What did you do in 94? Look at your kids. You know, all that kind of stuff. I just want to see, is there going to be a more professional candor between the two? Because from where I sit, doesn't reflect where I'm voting, but from where I sit, Trump's kind of gained a little more popularity since that first one.
Really?
Over Biden. From where I sit.
Where are you sitting at?
Like I said, doesn't reflect where I'm voting, but I'm just saying, like, you know, the Ice Cube situation, ain't nobody mad at Trump and them about it. Everybody's mad at Ice Cube.
No, there's some people out there that's mad at Trump and them about it. Not mad, but they can call it out for what it is. That Trump tried to exploit Ice Cube without giving no real equity policy intangibles. Yeah, there's some people that can see that.
Who you see the majority upset with, him or Ice Cube?
I see the majority of people being upset with Ice Cube.
About it.
I see the majority of people being upset with Ice Cube, but that don't mean that Trump has gotten some play out of it. That people don't see him out for what he is as well.
I'm interested in seeing how does that play into tonight's debate, that whole situation.
That could be interesting.
That's what I'm interested in seeing, and you know, just their reactions. Because okay, you've had a debate, you've looked at it, you've seen your vice presidential candidates as well. Okay, how are you guys going to react to here on the third one, the third debate, the third national debate? What are you guys gonna? How's your behavior going to be? That's what I'm interested in tonight. That's all I'm going to be watching for.
Right. Okay.
You know, so, but that's all I got, brother. It's been real. I always enjoy myself when I speak with you on a weekday morning.
Okay. Just next time, remember the kids a little bit more, brother, but I understand what you got to say, man. Appreciate the call.
I didn't hear. What did you say? I didn't hear
I said, next time, remember the kids. You say the alt meals for the kids, right? Remember the kids, the babies at home today. They might be listening. They don't want to hear your mouth. They don't want it. Mom and dad don't need to hear all that.
I didn't say anything. I didn't curse, but okay.
You did, but you was caught up in your emotions and probably don't remember at the moment. But it's all good, brother.
It's okay. I'm just tired of having my dick threatened. Oh!
Yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Okay. Listen, there's no one person bigger than the show. I just asked that just for the sake of the children who, like, including my own children that might be listening to the show right now. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But you know what? I got to call you out, Fane, because you're a hypocrite. You're guilty of doing exactly what you claim Glenn is doing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what I hear anyway. I hear you being just as guilty of doing what you claim that Glenn is doing. And I think I explained it. We all know. Y'all go back and forth and all this alt-middle stuff and wolves. I mean, listen, when you open the door, that's what happens. It comes with the territory. Let me see. Let me go back to the phones here. 513-873-7134. Welcome to the show.
Trick or treat. What's up, Nate?
Hey, what's going on? Is this Minister?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Good morning, Minister.
You know I had to call in after things. You know I had to call in.
Okay.
And it's Halloween. And he putting on his mask, and now he's being like a crybaby. That's what I want to say. I enjoy your show, Nate. I was just turning in, and Obama was going hard. He was going hard. I listened to it, going super hard. But I get that, it's about to be Halloween next week. So the Off-Mental Wolves is about to come out. And me and Mason Mahler, we shutting them down. They don't get no candy. No candy at all.
No candy at all.
No candy. But like I said, I'm listening in. I'm enjoying your show, and I was checking in. I'm just checking in. I'm in Ohio right now, so I'm coming back home. I come back home on the weekends now. So, he's just being a crybaby. And Mason Mahler, shout out to Mason Mahler. He said everything right. We shut all the off-middle down, and all their affiliates, including Drop with his dumb-ish, But shout out to you, Nate. I'm turning you on to the young cats, us and everything, so you can get more
likes and follows on your show.
Appreciate you, man.
But like I say, off Mill Woods, stop crybabying. You know it's Halloween and the minister is out. I see you, Nate.
All
I'm
right,
out.
appreciate the call. Appreciate him. That's the minister. It's just like a chain reaction here. You got to keep watching. 513-873-7134 if you want to share your thoughts. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivey, and the good people of Cincinnati, as well as the good people around the world. And yes, those choppers. Good morning, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing well, John. John from Florida. What's up, man?
Yes, just calling in to chime in, as sometimes I just sit back and listen in the midst of my work, and sometimes I feel I want to chime in. I guess everybody's excited. I'm sure Mr. Nathan Ivey is excited about tonight's debate.
I wouldn't say excited, but I'm interested.
Well, I don't think as we talked the other day about that mute button, that's the only thing that is going to save this debate. I don't think the sister is going to have it. So I'm sure she implemented the organization with the debaters to put a mute button in case that little rat in the White House decide he wants to act up. So you can just mute him out and let him just ramble on by himself. Nobody's going to hear him. But at least we'll get a chance to hear how Biden feels, how the rat in the White House feels. Well, we know he doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have an agenda. He doesn't know anything but try to control, yell, dominate, and scream. But what's amazing about some of the people that feel they're on the borderline about either voting for Trump or voting for Biden, they don't know who they're going to vote for. Unbelievable. I say to those people out there that's on the borderline that has not decided. If you haven't decided by now, you're probably never going to decide. You must just go into the window, close your eyes, and just pull the lever, because that's where some of these hillbillies and even some of our people, I'm amazed. I mean, let's look at Trump's track record over the last 2 to 3 years. As we look back, he couldn't get much done. Nothing other than stepping around the Republicans and the senators and doing what he wants to get done. But 80% of the time, he got nothing done. And he didn't get nothing done that second year because the Democrats took control of the House. And taking control of the House, he couldn't get anything done other than pushing himself around the Democrats, doing what he wants to do, which doesn't sit right with a lot of people because of our so-called laws. So, but the big umbrella in his hat is the collapse of the country. The collapse of the country, millions of people out of work, the virus, you got probably over 300,000 people dead, over 8 million, possibly over 8 million people. The numbers are flux, but I think the numbers are higher. The numbers, so, over 8 million people with the virus, and the system has totally collapsed, as much as the Democrats are not saying. Why is it that the Democrats feel like little sheep, afraid to attack Trump?
John, you still there?
I'm still here. Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I did hear you. Did you ask a question? You just stopped talking.
Well, I asked the question, why is it that the Democrats tend to sit back and not afraid to attack, whereas the Republicans, when they're in control or when they're not in control, they tend to attack the sitting Democrat president that's in office? Why is that?
It's politics. Yeah, I mean, if Joe Biden wins, then starting in January of 2021, you want to know what the Republican Party is going to start talking about? The deficit. Why? All of a sudden, they're going to be attacking the sitting Democrat president on the deficit spending. And they're going to try to use those conversations to curtail any domestic spending. They do this over and over again. It's a dance. It's politics. I see Democrats criticizing Trump now. That's just the way it goes. Comes with territory.
So in other words, what you're saying is, if Biden gets in, give it. He'll be having maybe a month of sitting in the White House. The seat in the White House won't even be warm, and the Republicans will get on the attack dog, blaming everything that's going down that Trump left. Similar to, remember, let's not forget, go back in time when Barack Obama took over the presidency. What did Barack Obama inherit? Bush and Cheney's complete mess for 8 years. They should have been locked up with over 5,000 boys and girls in the military dead, started a war that nobody wanted. They should have been locked up. But Barack Obama didn't take the high road and attack and grab the attorney general to investigate and lock him up. One more question I want to ask you. Why is it that when we get a leader in this country, they commit crimes, do the dirty deeds, and they're not held accountable? That bothers me. I'd like to hear your response to that.
Well, I mean, the people got to rise up. It depends on the circumstance. I mean, we know what it is. The president is insulated. The Democrats, they didn't have enough dirt on him. And whether they had the dirt or not, they didn't have the numbers in the Senate. So, John, it really goes back to, like, if you're looking at this whole thing with Donald Trump and you're like, man, the Senate could never impeach him. He should have been impeached. Well, people voted on the makeup of the Senate. It is what it is. The Republicans got a majority. We already know what that means. So if you're really concerned about this, then what we need to be doing is having a long-term strategy on how we can see the kind of change that we really, really want, whether that's the Senate, the Congress, or whatever, as it relates to black people or whatever your perspective is. That's real simple, man. That's simple, John.
Well, then I see how this is playing out. Let's just say Biden and Harris get in. If the House won't be up for at least another year. So that's a wait and see. But the Senate, if the Democrats, now we're back to the same old games Republicans and Democrats play. Nothing is going to get done. As you agreed, I agree with you. Everything will be blamed on Biden for the next year or two,
you know how it goes.
Until if the Democrats can flip the Senate. If they don't flip the Senate, and then now the Democrats are already talking that if Trump pushes the Supreme Court nominee down everybody's throat, okay, if we get in, then we're going to increase the names on that Supreme Court, which is what needs to happen anyway, because the Supreme Court is totally out of control too, because they get away with the dirty stuff that they do, police shooting, harassment. Everybody doesn't read and everybody doesn't understand that. Once again, I think I mentioned to you about 15 years ago an article I read in the Star Ledger newspaper there in New Jersey, and it was in the Sunday paper, buried deep in the back that nobody probably looks at, and it was a block that came from the Supreme Court. And at that time, they stated, we give the police the upper hands on all of these shootings. Well, it didn't take long from John from Florida to realize what they meant for that, because now we saw over the last 15 years, the police know they can shoot. They can be judge, jury, and executionist, and nothing will happen to them. And that's what we're seeing. So Supreme Court is totally out of control. Maybe, I don't know if they need to increase the seats on the Supreme Court, to flip it to make it hard for the Republicans, or let the police understand now we got control of the Supreme Court. You go out there and think you're going to be judge, jury, and execution, then we'll see what happens then. So that article I read talked about how the police can do what they want. They can smirk and smile, go to court, or given death duty, they know they're not going to go to jail and they'll get their job back. So, let's see how this plays out between now and about another 2 weeks. I would say a week and a half.
Are you going to vote,
Election
John?
day. I'm going to wait and see. I'm waiting. As I stated, I'm consistent with my pattern. I'm going to wait and see what Biden has to say. If he's going to show me what he's talking about, what his agenda is, what his plan.
Have you gone to Biden's website to look at his agenda and his plan, John?
I haven't heard nothing on reparation, and I want to hear something on reparation.
Hey, John,
I know I'm not going to get it.
John, have you gone to have you gone to Joe Biden's website and looked at his black agenda or any of his plans? Because they're all over his website. Have you done that? Keep it real.
No, I haven't. I haven't done that yet. I didn't even know he had anything with a black agenda. Is it anything on reparation there?
Hey, John. Listen, man, today, just go to Joe Biden's website I'm not endorsing anybody. I'm just saying, since we're talking about this, let's be about this. Go to Biden's website and look at his plan. I think it's called Lift Every Voice. Go to Trump's website. Look at his plan. His plan is called the Platinum Plan. Okay? It'll tell you a lot as to where these individuals stand and what they're promising to do if they should become elected. You got to do that quick, John. So you are registered. Is that correct?
Yes, I've been registered since I got to Florida. I am all registered. That I have done.
And you know where your polling place is. You've confirmed it because you got your polling card and everything. I'm not sure how they do things in Florida. Is that how they do things?
All you got to do is fill out the ballot, which is what I have, just to register. I haven't come down to the polling place yet, and I'll probably wait until election.
Have you gotten confirmation that you are actually registered?
Yes, I got it already. Out here at home.
Okay. You starting to break up. Hey, John, I'm gonna let you go, man. I appreciate you, brother. That man right there. See, it's too much of that going on. It's too much of this making. I feel this way, and you have not even gone. We go to websites every day on social media. Now, my situation is a little different. I might be on 15, 20, 30 different websites looking for, what I think are relevant things to talk about and communicate to the audience and or guests. But the normal person on Facebook, you on Facebook, your friends are posting stuff, and you're clicking on it, and you know what I'm saying? They got a website. Trump has a plan. It's called the Platinum Plan. It is what it is. At the very least, we owe it to ourselves to go do some research so that we know what the hell we talking about. I don't even know if I believe that John is registered, man. I'll be honest with you. John about to do this. John is the dude who wrote in Zorro, ladies and gentlemen, on his ballot back in 2016. This man wrote in Zorro. He didn't write in a third-party candidate. He didn't write in Hillary Clinton. He didn't write in Donald Trump. He wrote in Zorro. But then he wants to complain about what happens. This is crazy. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
I'm online.
Yes, you are. Hey, good morning, brother. Welcome.
What's up, Nathan? Man. I was really just checking in for a great show as always, man. Telling the flows and everything. I was real persistent about dropping these lines in the chat about the Judge Joe Brown interview.
I can barely hear you, brother.
Out for the past 2 days.
Hey, brother, what's your name? And first, what's your name? And then secondly, your line is real muffled. I don't know if we on speaker or something like that.
Yeah, I'm on speaker. I'm gonna take you out.
Okay.
My fault. It's Anime.
What's up, Anime? Welcome. You sound much better.
What's going on? My fault. Yeah, this Anime Savage, man. Long time listener. I was really just being persistent about these chats I've been dropping in your live chat on YouTube. I've been watching a bunch of these not a bunch. I've seen 2 interviews with Judge Joe Brown, man, and I really think it'll be beneficial for the choppers and yourself to take a look into it, man. It's a first-hand account coming from this man's words about everything, man. So
okay,
I just feel like that definitely needs to be out there, man. Just
I'll
YouTube,
check it out.
Judge Joe Brown interview.
Yeah, I love Judge Joe Brown, man. He does great interviews. What he said about the whole JFK assassination. I mean, I like some of the stuff he puts out there. So I'll check it out.
Yes, sir, man. It seemed like he done got to that age where he just like, forget it, man. You know what I'm saying? He done lived the full life. He ready to go ahead and be about something for real. So definitely check that out. That was it.
All right, Anime, take it easy, man.
All right,
yeah, most def. Lots of call today. I mean, do you think people would be interested in, like, if we did like I'm just looking for different ways to promote the show online without actually, promoting the entirety of the show. This show's like 2.5, 3 hours long. We on YouTube, but it's very, very rare on YouTube channels where you see like an hour-long show. That kind of content, unless it's really, 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 really compelling content, in my opinion, doesn't really go well in certain platforms. I mean, there are exceptions there, and people are viewing the show, and that's great. But I'm thinking about, because we've had a lot of interesting calls throughout today, and really we get a lot of very interesting calls throughout the week. Thinking about doing just a promo, which is just the calls, so people can hear the various voices, because some of y'all are hilarious, absolutely funny. I mean, from what I would say, superlative flows, just really just hilarious characters, you know what I'm saying, like Fame and Mason Mahler and others. Really, really interesting. Now, I might do some editing because some of y'all folks don't know how to respect the children and the babies out here. Y'all talk about it, but you don't be about it. But other than that, some really interesting, insightful comments. I've had guests and people that like come inside the chop shop. They'll listen. In some cases, elected officials or other members of the local media, and they'll chime in and say that they really enjoy the show, not just because of me, but because of the listeners, the different points of view. Like I said, I mean, we can always disagree without being disagreeable. That's what this show is about. This show is about the conversation. I don't have to be right. I ain't trying to make myself out to be anybody smarter than anybody else. I'm just an average Joe with a superlative flow. It is what it is. Okay? But I think that collectively, there's some really interesting minds inside the room. And I want more people to hear it. All right, we're almost at the top of the hour. It's 9:50 a.m. I got to take another pause for the calls, and we'll come right back. It's the Nathan Ivey Show, Cincinnati's first daily digital talk show that focuses on the Black community. Please take a second to like and in particular share today's show. When you share the show, quite frankly, more people see it. And I want everyone to know about what we're doing here with the Nathan Ivey Show and also Sin Digital Media as well. And don't forget, coming up today at 1 p.m., Midday Juice with Ask Ashley. She got a question from a brother, ironically, in terms of some of the flow that came up today, who's having some erectile issues. We'll put it that way. I'll leave it like that. And you can join the conversation later on today at 1 p.m. live. Now, that's live. We'll be live as long as the show is live, starting at 1 p.m. But then the show will be available for you to check out whenever you get off of work, or maybe you want to check back later this evening. Feel free to do so. All right. 513-873-7134. Again, open your mind before you open your mouth. I can see I'm going to have to more strictly enforce that rule. And lucky for us, I am prepared to do that. We'll come right back. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now let's get back to the flow.
So many Democrats voting for Charlie Winburn. Democrat Malcolm Timmons.
I'm voting for Charlie Winburn because he is a man that does what he says he's going to do, and he gets things done for our community.
Democrat Nettie Matthews.
Of course I'm voting for my brother Charlie Winburn because he cares about the Black community.
Democrat Paul Booth.
I'm voting for my longtime friend Charlie Winburn. He will put people over party.
Democrat Zakiya Allen.
I'm voting for Charlie Winburn because he has a positive track record in our community.
Democrat Charles Wiley.
I am voting for Charlie Winburn because he would be accountable to us.
Democrat Klein Carricker.
I'm voting for Charlie Winburn because he helps to train hundreds of African Americans through his leadership masterclass.
Democrat Jafanya Wynn.
I'm voting for Charlie Winburn because he cares about women with children, providing child care and a school for K through 8th graders.
Democrat T. Renee.
I want to see the first African American county treasurer elected after 230 years.
Vote Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer.
Paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
This is State Senator Cecil Thomas asking you to vote for Charmaine McGuffey for Sheriff of Hamilton County. As a former police officer, I know Charmaine is the only qualified candidate to be sheriff. She stands with our community and will lead with accountability. Her opponent used excessive force in the killing of an unarmed black man and led the highly controversial Vortex unit. He is the last person we need to lead our sheriff's office. Trust the judgment of someone who knows. Vote Charmaine McGuffey for sheriff, a vote for justice.
This is Charmaine McGuffey asking for your vote. Paid for by people for McGuffey for Sheriff.
With the Bloomberg Black Business Report, I'm Donna Wilson. In June, Microsoft announced a plan to double the number of Black and Latino managers and leaders at the company. But a new annual diversity report shows the company is falling short in boosting the number of Black and Latino workers in the U.S. The company said it raised the proportion of both Black and Latino groups by just 0.3 percentage points over the past year. That means Black workers represent 4.9% of its U.S. workforce, and Latino employees are at 6.6%. Valerie Jarrett, one of the most trusted advisors in the Obama administration, has joined Ralph Lauren's board of directors. And actress and producer Regina King has signed a first-look deal at Showtime to develop and produce TV projects. That's your Bloomberg Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Nathan Ivey with you. Another beautiful day. Want to remind you, coming up at 1 p.m. today, Midday Juice with Ask Ashley. You can watch it live on Sin Digital Media's Facebook page. Good morning to you. And welcome back. How you doing? Welcome back. Let's get into it. Man, I've gotten a lot of comments about the show the last couple of weeks, largely due to you and your input. I really appreciate it. And, it is what it is, in terms of when you're doing daily radio, when you're doing a daily anything in front of people on a daily basis, you're going to have your ups and downs. I mean, some people are going to agree with you. Some people are not. Whenever you bring people together, you're going to have people inside the group that may disagree on issues. I would just hope that we can disagree without being disagreeable. I mean, there's enough hate out there in the community for black folks. We don't need to do it to ourselves. That would be my take on it. Other than that, it's the internet. I'm here for it. And don't ever think that the rules that I put in place of this show is about my personal feelings, because I love the good, bad, and the ugly internet. I love being an adult. I'm 100% an adult, trust me. Those are so issues, not about personal issues. I'll just say that in advance. It ain't personal. And again, if you hear me say something on the show and you feel like, you want to call in and challenge me or whatever, the door is always open. 513-873-7134. What I like to think about myself is I'll think about what you had to say. And if it's real, I can eat it. Got no problem with it. No problem. If it's some dumb ish, then at the end, I've got no problem in sharing that with you as well. But again, we can always agree to disagree, family. That's the whole point. Independent black media should have a different relationship with black people than mainstream media. That's it. Hey, good morning to you, Tiffany. Clout chasing bar Smarley. He wasn't talking about you, fool. This guy. Rachel writes, OMG, here comes a therapy session. Fame is crazy. Greg writes, woo, again with the nuts. Fastest writes, balls caught him. Like I said, I don't know. I got a different ear these days. So I'm not saying I'm not sensitive to disrespect, because I'm just as sensitive as anybody else is, right? But certain things, they just don't even register. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. But Fame is protesting just a little too much about just these little minor things that Mason Mahler says. And I got to tell you, Fame, on one hand, you kind of contradicting yourself, brother, which I know you ain't got a problem in doing it. I ain't got a problem in telling you, but on one hand, you say that what Mason Mahler says ain't clever, I think is what he says, and it's not impactful, but it seems to be clever enough to catch you over and over again. So somebody writes, stop crying, Fame. Fame is cool. Fame is Fame. He's always welcome. Really writes, this caller needs to be baptized. Oh, man, that's hilarious. Is that what you mean? I say you bobatized, but did you mean baptized? Well, maybe we can baptize him here on that. And we got some holy music, some old school Christian music. Maybe we can do some baptism. Crystal writes, he sounds like Black Lion, LMAO. Well, that's what he's trying to do. That's what he wants to sound like, Black Lion. Fame needs a sedative. Anthony writes, all in my feelings this morning. I think what I'm going to start doing is when Fame or whoever goes down that route, I got some Ralph Tresvant, a man with sensitivity. We might play that in the background. Very sensitive about these small issues. Fame, more water, less caffeine. That's from Kevin. Rachel writes, click. Tiffany is cracking up. He is so damn intelligent, Joe. Use your powers for good, Fame. Sheesh, I agree with you. Use your powers for good. No, I'm not going to put that up there. Dude stuck on this male genitalia BS. Again, Janine writes, am I listening to the right show? Sandman hook for Boo Boo the Fool. So y'all wrong. So who's more worried about men's genitalia? Tiffany, I've tried to tell the brother. Sometimes people call in and I just try to save you from the way that you're coming across. I've tried to tell Fame, bro, you spending more time on that issue than what you claim he is. But Fame is a fan of the show, man. He's trying to help the show out. I appreciate it. These are women. These are women. Crystal writes, okay, I've picked myself up off the floor. Woo, gotta love the Nathan Ivey Show. Box of chocolates. You never know. You never know. You never know. When you open that phone line, and this goes for any radio show. I don't care where you are. When you in the public and you open your phone lines, you never know. That's why in commercial radio, they have producers that will filter the phone calls before they get on the air. And sometimes that line of filtering isn't enough. Telling you, I could tell you some stories that'll have you on the floor. I'm telling you. Let me see. Say Fastpace like, yeah, I'm wondering where he's sitting at. He said something about from where he's sitting, it looks this way about Trump has got ahead. I don't see that. I don't see that at all, but I mean, we all got our opinions. Janice writes, Trump does not know how to be professional. Well, he does in what he thinks is professional. Crystal writes, Trump dropped the socialism bomb. First, I've heard him use that extreme right-wing talking point. Think about the baby's fame. That's right. Cruther writes, very disrespectful to you, Nate. Well, I mean, it's not really a personal thing. It's more about how you operate your show. You know, when I say that about the baby, I mean that. I mean, I ain't joking. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know, when you got to do what you got to do as a host, I don't spare none. It don't really make a difference. But no, I don't take that personal at all. Crystal writes, I thought alt middle was for the children. I thought so too. Fastfish writes, now my mind is in the gutter. Exactly. TNT writes, challenge. Somebody writes, John. Omar writes, shout out to the Wolves something and those obsessed with them. Crystal writes, hands down, my favorite NI caller. Mine too. Crystal writes, those factless pedophiles, John from Florida. That's hilarious. John, asked John if he was still stalking Elizabeth Warren. Well, you know who he is. Cruther writes, is John voting? I asked him. He said, maybe not. As soon as the minister called saying Obama went hard last night, my mind went back to the previous calls. He's hilarious. You're hilarious for that fast bitch. Jesse writes, damn, he's still there. What the F is John talking about? Didn't he listen yesterday? Charlie Wimber writes, great show today. Good to see you, Mr. Wimber. Cass writes, I'm late to the show this morning. Hey, good to see you, Cass. Better late than never, always. Let me see. Crystal writes, hold on here, I'm getting a text message. Okay, great. I got a text message from the wifey saying that she's got business to attend to, so we got to cut this short, folks. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7:30 p.m. Don't forget a couple things going on today and throughout the week. So, of course, today you got the midday juice with Ask Ashley. And as you can tell from the cover art, it is a man who is asking Ashley for some advice. He's got a very serious issue he's dealing with. So tune in and watch today at 1 p.m. Of course, you're always free to chime in with your own thoughts as well. Also, don't forget the Is It Just Me podcast on Friday with Donnie B. She'll be breaking down numerous things. You ever look at the world, this crazy, out of control in some cases world that we live in, and just think to yourself, is it just me? Well, if so, you're not alone. So does Donnie B. And you can check it out on Fridays at 12:30. And hopefully you'll enjoy that podcast. I'm sure you will. All right, coming up on Sunday, the Dope Chicks Collective podcast. That's Sundays at 1 p.m. That's Sundays at 1 p.m. And if you're looking for information about the superintendent, well, Donnie and I had a joint conversation with her on Monday, in which she answered a lot of questions. That's still up on our Facebook page, and you can check that out today. And CDM, along with Shanghai Imaging, is looking for the next great female podcast host. This is for a relationship/dating pod. and we're looking for the right female host to anchor that. And when you see this, there'll be some instructions involved with it as well. And if you know someone who's interested or you think would be perfect for it, please share that with them. You can find them on our Facebook page, Sin Digital Media. A lot of fun. Looking forward to that. All right, I got to make a move. Got to make a move, family. Just got a text message saying, I got ish to do, Negro. So cut your ish short so I can make sure that we take care of this family unit. Question to the host, how are you voting? Who are you voting for? I am probably going to vote in person. In terms of who I'm voting for, I don't want to endorse anybody in a campaign. You know, as a media outlet and media platform, you know, I want to remain as neutral as possible. Okay, so I don't really talk about who I'm voting for per se, but I think that if you listen to this show, you've heard me talk about all of the candidates. You've heard me talk about Joe Biden, and I think it's very, very clear as to who I think is good for our community and who I believe is not good for our community. I think I've been very clear. And if I haven't been, then I will be just as clear when we talk about it moving forward. But in terms of who I'm not endorsing anyone, and I'm not trying to tell people who to vote for. You should vote for who you think is best for you. I'll give you a strong opinion based upon my objective viewpoint on the candidates if you listen to this show. And if that informs you, great. If it doesn't, okay, cool. You know, but you'll get a strong opinion, whether it be the Hamilton County Sheriff, whether it be Hamilton County Prosecutor, whether it be President. I mean, you've heard me, and you will continue to hear me give a very strong opinion about who I think is best and who I think is absolutely not the best. Crystal writes, it's time for an ad campaign, Nathan. A formal promo is a great idea. I'm with you on that. Cam writes, that Windburn commercial is brilliant. Hey, good to see you, Cam Hardy. Good to see you. Ralph Dressfan in the background, LOL. Tariq Nasheed does the same thing. Does he? I didn't know that. I know that Mason Marler started doing the whole Ralph Tresvant men with sensitivity thing. It just makes sense. Great minds think alike. Let me see. Jimmy writes, I'm from Uganda, region in Western Uganda, where we have the charity project, including street kids, orphan children, widow, poor family members. We need your help and support. I am hip to what's going on in Uganda and in also Nigeria, Jimmy. I appreciate that, man. Send us a link. Well, you know, if good people want to be involved, then they will. Hey, listen, folks, thank you for your time. I really appreciate you. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, bright and early. We'll chop it up starting at 7:30 a.m. Have an excellent rest of your day. And we'll talk real soon. I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.
Thank you.